Hello, can you hear us?
I sure can.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, for some reason, Streamlabs has been doing this thing where it will just completely destroy all the presets and stuff. For I don't know why. It's only recently started doing this. But it'll like turn all my cameras off, so I gotta reset everything, and it is a mighty colossal pain in the ass.
Yes.
Oh, the pain of being a streamer.
So it's has to be completely reset between every single stream. I gotta resize all the resolutions. I gotta make sure all all the presets are. I don't know. Yeah, it's not my most favorite thing. I suspect Tim did something on his end.
Oh my god, dog. I gotta take the dog out. I'll be right back.
We are live.
We are live?
Yeah, so if you say anything embarrassing,
Okay. No, that's super cool. Um, I am not by the computer, so if you need me to do a thing, I
nope,
have no control.
you are good.
You are good!
Um, I'm working on the Wrecking Crew tonight.
That's a good choice. That's like
Yeah.
that's like 7 models.
Well, it's four, so it
Good,
takes
try
four
to
times
join
as
on my phone.
long, and I really want these guys to look good.
Or
Sure. Yeah,
And they
in
have
Discord
and they
channel.
have
I'm in a
tiny
Discord.
little
Right? Yeah, I can invite you.
eyes.
Right. Sorry, Kara was talking to me.
No, okay. Hi, Kara.
She can't hear you yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what we were talking about in the midst of trying to fix that.
Okay, mommy.
Add her to this thing. Okay, I think it's inviting you.
Hello.
Yes, I think Steph has to put him back in. He said he was not near the computer.
Does that sound on the stream every time I mute it?
I didn't hear it. If I don't hear it, they don't hear it.
Okay. You might have to invite both of them. She just dropped.
No, they didn't drop. It was the. Don't worry about it.
Good, I don't want trouble. Loki, this is not the time for that.
No, it's next Monday visit, not this one. The 28th. I might have said this Monday, but the Bournes wanted to come on, and I didn't want to.
You definitely said next Monday.
No, I did yesterday, but I think maybe last time I might have said it was gonna. It might have been today.
Yeah.
I was trying to just figure out a good day for it, but yeah, it'll be next Monday for sure, 100%. Because I didn't want to dress up like a ballet
And
dancer.
this one will go
In
the
the
square
square
hole.
hole.
Look at that booty, show me the booty, give me the booty, I want the booty, back up the booty, I need the booty, I like the booty, oh what a booty.
Well, the Herald lied to you. Because I definitely said the 28th. It's the day after my birthday. It's my birthday. Anyway, so we're doing a lot of stuff today, but I did it. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong screen. I'm stupid. Okay. Um, can you not? No, Steph, you got to join in that channel I just made. Um, it'll be in your Discord.
What? Oh
Oh no.
no.
Yeah, it'll be up in the private messages thing. It'll be me and Kara in the channel. Yeah, there you go. Okay, that probably did it.
You did it!
Cheers.
Can you hear us now?
Yep, you can hear you.
Oh, we can hear both of you. Hi.
Hi, hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, is it true that you guys actually just use one headset and like your heads are just right next to each other? You know, like
No, I have my laptop set up with my podcast mic.
that makes sense. Oh yeah, right, because you're actually like you actually know audio stuff now because you do some podcasts.
I don't know audio. I just bought a decent microphone.
Yeah, that helps. That does help. Just for the record, I don't know it much either. I mostly just get yelled at by people, and then they're like, "Do this," and I'm like, "All right, fine, whatever," and then I don't do it, and then they eventually just do it on their own.
I mean, I know enough that when people tell me, like, this is what's wrong, I can go fix it. I just don't necessarily always know what to go fix.
For the record, Visit, I'm not the one who betrayed you. The Herald told me to... Hi, Cord. Okay. Chat's caught up with. You guys may talk.
Cheers.
But...
Yeah,
Cheers. I did something special today, Brandon, and you're the only one who's going to care.
Mm,
Who's Brandon?
I...
it's okay. You can call me Brandon. It's fine.
What? Sorry, Brandon. I know... Okay, first of all, let's get that set. I know so many... In our area, we have so many Brandons, Brendans...
Mhm.
And there's like an equal distribution of them, and I mess it up every single time. I know your name is Brandon, right? Brandon, I'm right.
Brendan.
Brendan is Brendan.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
hate-
half of the world calls me Brandon, and I don't notice it
I hate-
anymore.
Everything about myself.
So, for the record, I prefer the name Brendan because I have an ex-husband whose name is Brandon. So,
Oh, gee.
E is always better than A.
And it's not me. I'm not the ex-husband, for the record. It's not me.
Your name's not Brandon.
It's not. So I finished rigging the sloop.
Oh, okay, sweet. Did you have to use a YouTube video, or did you figure it out by yourself?
I did a little bit of both.
Oh, okay.
What is this? Why is this here?
Oh, look at that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So
That
I got it.
yellow,
I got it today. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think the boat came out really, really fantastically. I told myself I've made promises with this game, right? And I told myself I'm not allowed to buy a boat unless I finish whatever boat I was working on previously. So I'm not allowed to have two unpainted boats.
I do not.
Okay, one boat at a time. Got
One
it.
boat at a time. One ship, excuse me. So
Yeah.
I got the frigate sort of on order because I ordered it through my local game store, and it's going to take them a long time to get it. So I also ordered a long boat, which is not going to take very long. Obviously, because it's very
Yeah.
small. It's just a
Well,
little.
I mean, a
tiny.
longboat's pretty small though.
Very
right?
small. It's just a little one-deck ship that mostly just to bring people up to shore.
Yeah. Or
'Cause-
your not aqueous, your amphibious games.
Correct. And the community for this game, I'm thinking I might actually sign up as a quartermaster because this game
Ooh.
is is the real deal, Evander Holyfield. I love this game.
We do love it a lot.
You both play it.
She does play it with me. We actually just finished a game. That's why dinner was a little weird.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I saw, what's his name? Jeff Planet
Defective Dice.
Defective Dice. So Jeff, Defective Dice, posted a video on YouTube, and it was about the Port Royal game, and I was like, ooh, pirate. Can we play this Pirates game? And Dylan was like, are you pulling my leg? And I was like, no, I really want to play this Pirates game. And he was like, did Jeff put you up to this? Are you like teasing me or something? And I was like, dude, there are literally pirates in my ancestors. So please play the pirate game and stop giving me a hard time.
I didn't believe her. I legitimately did not believe her. I was like, okay, she's mocking me right now. Because I love historicals. Like, I love historical games. And if somebody were to come up... All right. Steph. Steph. Well, first, Steph, I need you to understand something. It'd be like if I were to walk up to you and I was like, can we go to Sephora's? I love just walking around, sampling everything, and then just buying the most expensive thing I can find, and I'm just going to give it all to you.
Smashbox only.
I don't know what that means. But that, Steph, what would you think if somebody came up to you and did that? Like, this guy's on crack.
If my husband said that to me, I'd be like, "You on drugs?"
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So that's exactly what she did to me. And I was like, no, this is a lie. Somebody's lying to me. The devil is in the details right now. What is happening? I'm very upset.
But I love the game. I'm painting the shit.
Yeah, well, this is before we put it. Yeah, so Tisdale, I am painting Palpatine. I was just so close to finishing the rigging. I just wanted to finish it. I'm on the last little knot right now. I thought I was done, and then I realized I forgot one. So yeah, Palpatine he's right here. He's ready. I just need to finish this.
Are you more Blood and Plunder or Port Royal at the moment?
So right now we've been playing Blood and Plunder. We got Port Royal. So Port Royal was kind of what started this whole thing. And then I was like, well, we're going to have the models, and, I mean, we might as well play the real game.
Yeah, he was like, let's play ships. And I was like, no, let's not play ships.
Yeah, she was
And
resistant.
then we bought ships, and I was like, let's
yeah. So she doesn't want to play Port Royal because she likes the boat version of the game too much.
You could still use the boats as terrain. It wouldn't be as fun because you're not like blowing up the ships, but you can still. And I think Mike said he's working on an expansion for Port Royal that uses boats.
The first expansion is going to be Nassau, and it will have a horde mode type game where you and the other person are going to split up the crew of a ship, and you have to essentially do as much looting and pillaging as you can before the cops get you. It's like a horde mode.
On the ship.
On the ship. So you got to go out and be pirates. So you're like individually manning parts of the ship. It's like more Sea of Thieves, is I think the idea.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it sounds sick. All right.
I've only done 2 games of Port Royal so far, just like learning games, and it's pretty cool. I actually like it better than Blood and Plunder, so I'm more on the Port Royal side of things at the moment.
Port Royal seems super solid. I really, really enjoyed it. It's very Mordheimy, which is cool.
Where do they live?
Yeah, you guys live. I know you guys live in the Midwest somewhere.
Northeast Indiana.
Indiana, that's right. Yeah, that's why you're so big on Adepticon.
Yeah, it's not more than a 5-hour drive now.
That's so good. Yeah. That's such an amazing thing.
You should just come to Boston to play Pirates.
How long did you... Wait, do you drive... You don't stream, so you don't have to drive. But do you drive?
I have flown every year. I've been asked to drive every single year, but I've decided that I appreciate myself enough to not have to want to make that drive. So I've not made the drive yet. One of the guys that we always go with, so he took the train 1 year, and he said it was like prohibitively expensive. But he's also like he has to get first class. He's also got a few dollars to his name, yeah. As much as he will do everything he can to tell you otherwise. But okay, everything's all caught up now. Anyway, he took the train 2 years ago, and then last year he drove because he's not a big fan of planes, which is understandable, especially with the culture of these days. Yeah.
Can we vote on Palpatine's purple eyes?
It's Tisdale's model. It's not mine.
Tizzy, I really think that Palpatine needs purple eyes to show his purple lightning that comes out of his hands.
All right,
Tisdale's in the chat. What up, Mike?
Mike, did you hear Kara?
Tizzy, I really think we should paint Palpatine's eyes purple so that it would match the lightning that comes out of his fingers.
His fingies.
Aw, hi, Tizzy's wife.
Is this in honor of the fact that you can't play in Legion anymore?
Oh, is he not in Legion anymore?
Yeah, Palpatine, Royal Guards, and...
Oh, that's right. I've heard about this.
Do not paint his eyes purple.
Some of the rebel troopers from Rogue One got removed from the game.
I heard about the Royal Guard. I heard about that. Why did they say why?
I don't know. It didn't make the cut, I guess. You know, they're trying to trim it down. They're trying to make it a game again. Obviously, with all the banners and art that we saw at Adepticon, they're really pushing Legion again. And
I thought I saw something that it was Disney that was the cause of it, but that might have just been online speculation.
I'm not sure if that was confirmed or not.
But you actually play Legion.
Sometimes, not currently.
Used
Right.
to.
I have it. I want to again.
Girl. I get it. Like, we got a lot of games in our house that you also used to play.
I mean, we would again, but right now it's in the print off the rules, print off the cards again,
Yeah.
figure out how to play again stage.
That's why I don't want to play Song of Ice and Fire.
There's somebody in the community
Turn on your mic.
who's gonna do a learn to play again.
Kara has direct access to talk to me online, so I can have both earphones in, and she doesn't want to do it.
That's why I don't want to play Song of Ice and Fire anymore, because it's like print the cards out and redo everything. Like,
Right? Like, I want the
so
actual.
I appreciate that it's free and we don't have to go buy the books like from GW, but also like, oh, I really need the rules not to change so often.
Well, they might not here
That's
soon.
40K.
Yeah, for sure. Supposedly, I've heard, again, I don't know, there's no substantiatedness to this, but I heard Cool Mini or Not might be going out of business. Or they're at least going to be declaring bankruptcy at some point. Cool Mini or Not.
Oh no. I have a Kickstarter out right now. For the
Yeah.
DC United.
That's one of the reasons why they're thinking it, because apparently they're not paying contractors right now who they owe money to.
Oh, that's bad.
And
You're not getting that Kickstarter.
well, the Assassin's Creed Kickstarter for the RPG is out, which I don't really care about the RPG, but they have the models for all the main characters of the video games, and I'm like, ooh, I really want that Kenway for Blood and Plunder.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would definitely do the Jackdaw. And, and his first mate, I think it's pronounced Aldaway? Something like that. But I thought that would
I
be a really
appreciate
cool.
how both of you grunted in appreciation for him wanting that model from Blood and Plunder.
It's a cool idea. I mean, everybody, well, not everybody. A lot of people, they pull from other games and stuff. So, like, you see the Voodoo Pirate stuff, you see stuff from Sea of Thieves.
That's why I'm doing the ghost ship, because it reminds me of Sea of Thieves.
Right. And so,
And it was the first thing I thought of when I saw that ship. I was like, ghost ship.
so the Voodoo, remember that Voodoo ship I showed you? He painted it. Yeah.
That's me. It's also currently in a painting competition online with Blood and Pigment. Are you doing something for that?
The thing you just looked at is the thing I was gonna enter, because I just finished it today, so I couldn't give it to him any earlier.
Okay.
I was like, haha.
I'm not gonna make it, but I mean, like, my ship's not gonna be that fancy. So, like, I already am like behind you and Dylan. My ship's literally gonna be like 2 colors.
I'd not participated in this before, and I just realized that I was too late for the first drawing. There was like a
like
mid-April
a halfway.
drawing and then a late April drawing, so
Yep.
missed out on stuff, but it's still going on.
It's not a big deal. I'm assuming you're gonna be playing in Blood of Plunder, or the Summer of Plunder.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm more of a Port Royal guy at the moment. Did you see my story on Discord about
Yes.
my sort of ranting about what happened at the tournament?
Yeah, because I know there was at least one question about false colors.
There's 2 false colors things, and I don't want to go on like another rant about that. I'm trying to get over it.
Please do, please do, please do. I want to hear your frustrations. I want to know what yours is.
What's the tea?
Oh gosh. Okay.
The tea is so good.
But I should do the short version of this, not
So
the long version.
good.
Yeah.
No
so,
names, just like
Yeah.
details.
I don't think names
Well,
really matter, but
if I say the head judge, there was only one of those. So.
because they made a calling that was wrong. I know that.
It would take some research. I think you're good to just say, like, no name.
Kara, just let him tell the story. Jesus.
Wrong is relative, right? Because the sea battles at Adepticon is like the most like competitive kind of tournament you're going to find with Blood and Plunder. I think in general, Blood and Plunder is not like a tournament kind of game. It's more of a have fun with everybody at the game store kind of game. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because like there was only 22 players for the sea battles, and so this is gonna be the sweatiest, kind of competitive Blood and Plunder thing you can do, I think. And so I was trying to be prepared and study my rules. how do I make this shorter? I wanted to make sure that I knew how to do the sneaky pirate thing, which is flying false colors. And so I got a practice game with one of the staff guys
Mhm.
and got my questions answered. And he talked to the other staff. They were all volunteers, okay? So they're not Firelock Games staff. But regardless, they're the Adepticon TOs or staff. So anyway, play this game, and I wanted to know how to fly false colors, and I was told that you could re-roll that roll. Essentially, my Voodoo pirate ship, it's not very powerful. I'm going to be up against some really powerful ships, so my plan is to sneak aboard and board them and fight them ship to ship. So it doesn't matter what ship they're sailing.
Yep.
So flying false colors, the pirates, my guys are pretending to be friendly, and every turn you have to roll to see if you're discovered. And I was told that I could re-roll that roll by the staff. Right before the tournament, I go into my first game, and my opponent's like, "No, you can't re-roll that," because I rolled it, I failed, I spent a fortune point, re-rolled it, and it was a success. And he's like, "No, you can't do that." And I just explained to him that I'd already talked to the staff about this rule. So they then have to come over and debate the rule again, and they change their minds.
Oh. Well, that's not a good look, but sure.
I'm just gonna say that that's what I thought we should be doing, is me rolling for false colors, not you rolling to see if you notice my false colors.
Okay, so you're doing this strategy too.
Yes, she plays pirates.
Yes, so I play pirates, and we thought that Dylan had to roll when I'm playing pirates to see if his team noticed that I'm flying false colors.
I'm gonna look it up
Right.
looking it up right now. Let me see the wording. Not to say that both of you are, or whoever's wrong. I'm just now I'm curious.
Well,
I have no skin in the game because I have questioned it both ways.
the real problem is the fact that I still am unsure because different people told me different things. Most of the staff told me I could re-roll it. The head judge in my game then ruled that I couldn't re-roll it, and now the conversations that I've had with Blood and Plunder people, I still haven't figured that out. It's still sort of, can you or can't you?
So
don't know.
Let's read it right now. If this forces the attacker in an amphibious or sea scenario, it may it's only for attackers anyway. Kara's only ever attacked me once, so we've been doing that wrong anyway. But it may fly false colors to deceive the opposing force. Roll 1d10 at the start of each turn. On a 7+, the ruse is discovered and has no effect, so no further rolls are made. Otherwise, no unit in this force may be attacked by any enemy units this turn, unless a unit in this force attacks first or moves within 12 of an enemy unit.
So who rolls it?
So so it says roll 1d10 at the start of each turn. It doesn't really say who does it, but I guess because it's on your piece of paper, it's indicating that you should be the one rolling it.
That's one interpretation of it.
There is still no maid outfit. I've said that it is next week. It is next Monday.
Weren't you supposed to be dressed up like a sexy something?
Yes, next Monday I will be dressed up like a sexy maid. It is next Monday.
Okay, what was this bet that
We're totally gonna do Steph's makeup for him.
Yeah. Well, let's finish this discussion and then we'll talk about that in a second before we get sidetracked. So, it says on a 7+, the ruse is discovered and blah blah blah. It just says roll 1d10 at the start of each turn. So, quite honestly, it requires some extrapolation on that, in my opinion. I've read a lot of rules in my day.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it is supposed to be you? Or if you're playing the pirates, I guess you roll it?
Yeah.
Which does mean that you should be able to re-roll it, depending on when you get the fortune points. Because I think you get fortune points first, before you roll, before this happens, because this happens at the start of the turn.
Yep.
Were you using fortune points, or were you just re-rolling for some other reason?
Fortune point. Fortune point.
Okay.
Which I wasn't even aware that you maybe could do this. I wasn't planning on re-rolling it, but then the staff just told me that I could, so I'm like, oh, that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I can see where the bad vibes on that one come from for sure.
But I'm trying not to blame anyone in particular. I think that it's been out for 7 years, so all of this stuff really should be fleshed out and understood, right, by everyone. I guess bad on my part for asking not the head judge. I should have just went to the head judge, you know, and got how he was going to rule it. But yeah, it's not completely defined. So, like, if you're playing with your friends at home or at the game store, I think it's a great game. And, you know, if there's some ambiguity, you can agree on it. But as far as, like, it's a tournament game, it doesn't feel like a tournament game. And historicals, typically, you know, you're trying to reenact something. You're not necessarily playing tournaments most of the time, I don't think.
I tend to agree with you. Although I will say Blood and Plunder is probably one of the few historical games where I think the gaming aspect of it is strong enough to where you could do events like that, as opposed to just doing like pre-made scenarios, just because there is actually a very good game underneath the hood on this one. Like the engine's pretty sound.
Yeah, it's
Blood and Plunder is the first game I'm willing to sign up for at a convention. That's not like a mini con.
Like coming to Adepticon next year?
I'm coming to Nova. I'm gonna play at Nova, and then we'll see.
You have to come to Adepticon so we can meet in person.
It was something we talked about.
I was just asking Dylan if you guys have kids, because you guys could totally come visit us in Boston.
They do have kids.
We have kids, but not every day.
Oh, nice.
Partners.
I don't like to call
That's
it.
lovely.
But
that's what it is.
It's awesome when they're here because my stepdaughter Rosie is super into the hobby, and she did Golden Demon Youngbloods for the first time this year.
She got notable.
She got a notable.
Good on her.
Very nice. Very nice.
Proud of all.
Nope.
Not at all.
So, how many kids do you guys have? Do you share?
Two right here.
Nice.
Yep. Braden will be 18 in December, and Rosie will be 14 at the end of this month.
So Youngblood goes up to what, 16?
It's good having a 14-year-old who wants to paint models.
Yeah, and it's a girl at that age. It's like that's definitely not something you see at that age bracket, which is really cool. You must be super proud of that.
She bought herself so many models at Adepticon. I think she came home with like 10 cat models. There's one booth at Adepticon that is called Adventure Cats.
Oh, jeez.
And she has a box full of like, I don't know, 10 or 12 different cat warriors.
It's a full collection of one of the sets of these cats.
So awesome.
Oh.
Well, I think it's amazing that you're already working on the next generation for plastic addicts. But she's not interested in any of the games so far.
No, I know she wants to do D&D. Like, she watches D&D podcasts, and
she's more excited about role-playing games.
She has a lot of D&D books. She got the My Little Pony RPG book for Christmas, and we're taking her to Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio in June.
Sweet.
And she has picked out just a crap ton of role-playing games to do.
Yeah.
So that's what she's into.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
That's amazing.
Embrace the nerd.
Yep.
Nerds don't typically get into a lot of trouble. You know, if you're busy with a healthy hobby at a young age, my parents pushed me into music, but you know, I mean, it doesn't really matter what the hobby is. It could be sports, it could be art, it could be music. And as long as you're staying busy and not sitting around idle, you tend to be a healthier human being.
I asked her what she wanted for her birthday later this month, and she's like, I want my own wet palette.
Aw, that's sweet.
So, that is...
I think literally everybody listening to this stream right now could send her a wet palette.
That's true.
I already got one. I just need to wrap it. And she wants to pick out a new Warhammer model to paint for Youngbloods again next year. So
I'm-
I think we're gonna take
What
her.
is-
I think we're gonna take
Go
her
ahead.
to the local Warhammer store this weekend and
Well,
let her pick something out.
Tell her, Uncle Dr.D has like a million different models around his house, so
Yeah, like if she sees something she wants, she could maybe get it for free if she's willing to wait for it to get mailed. Also,
Hey,
How
mom
old
and
is
dad like free 99.
she's 14.
She'll be 14, yeah.
That's so awesome. I totally hated my parents by the time I was 13. So you guys are doing an
Right?
amazing job.
Yeah, we sat around Saturday night just hobbying, all three of us together, so it was a lot of fun.
That's fun.
yeah, not every.
Parallel play is something that I don't think the generations before us appreciated enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Parallel play.
Mm-hmm. You know, everybody's just doing their own thing in the same room.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because
Like
they were both
workspace.
working on painting, and I built 2 models for MCP while we
Right.
all sat around the same table.
Yeah, she's working on a model called Rosie from Neko Galaxy. I think it's called Neko Galaxy. It's not for a game. It's like they make miniatures for display painting. She's 75 millimeter scale.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were walking around the vendor hall at Adepticon, and we happened to come upon them, and she's like, they have a model named Rosie, and my name is Rosie, and I need to buy her.
Aww.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, so Rosie's painting Rosie right now.
Is it like World War II themed Rosie Riveter type thing?
No, she's
It's like cyberpunk, all kind of.
here.
Okay. There's the card. With these models too, they're supposed to already be a diorama. So like her base looks like it's broken on one side, and that's because there's a different character that fills in the other side
Sure.
of the circle.
Sure.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, man. This industry, absolutely insane. What it used to be.
Yeah, like we finished our game today. I kicked Dylan's butt with my pirates.
Good.
And I needed to start cooking dinner, but I was just so busy playing with my models, and like the majority of them aren't even painted yet. He was like, "You gonna cook dinner?" And I was like, "I know, but my
That's not
dolly."
what I said. That's not what I said. That makes me sound like an asshole.
You like that size of model? It's a
He
significant.
was in no way an asshole, and I paint contrast, so yeah, that size is great for me because I'm not doing any details.
Yeah, she's.
I do like I'll do a little bit of touch up, so Dylan will prime them
What a
with black,
talent.
and then he'll do the bone wraith for me. He'll spritz the bone wraith. Occasionally, the bone wraith doesn't hit quite the way I want it to, so I will touch up some off white where I want to highlight things, and then I
You
paint.
screw up, you
their
have to fix it with white anyways.
Right, yeah. And then I paint their skin like a peachy color, and then I put the contrast white person skin. There's like 2 contrast colors. There's like light and dark contrast colors. So I pretty much always use the light because they still look extremely tanned. They're perfectly colored for pirates. And then the dark is definitely good for like more dark-skinned people. So yeah, it works out for me. I don't have to do a whole lot of effort. The boats kind of kick in my butt, but that's okay. I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
Let me just say, Wilmar, eat my butt. What do you think about that?
Wilmar.
Happy birthday, Wilmar.
Hey Wilmar, what did you think of Dr. D's workout clothes yesterday? Were they as sexy as his underwear?
He might take time to respond to that. Since you're really targeting him here. really taking it out on him. So Mr. Brendan, I almost did it
Yep.
again. I almost did it again. I was like, no, that's not what her
You
name is.
didn't.
Not what his name is.
Yes, sir.
Um,
And your kid's name is Brayden.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, everybody hates me for naming my kid something like my name.
Not Brandon. So it's Brendan and Brayden, but there are no Brandon.
Correct.
the are you going to any other cons, or do you only go to Adepticon? And then I guess the little, and then the smaller ones near you.
Okay, so for the past 4 years, it's been Adepticon, and then there's a Rumble on the Rivers, which is a fairly small, but we think it's mighty. It's like a big 40K. It's not a GT. It's a big 40K tournament in town, at the convention center, and we did Rumble on the Rivers, and we ran a little Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think we had like 6 players.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do that again. That's
Again this year.
I mean, our community is growing, and we're happy to do that. So we'll probably run that, and then go into Origins. I used to, when I was a board game store manager, I used to go to Gen Con, and I was a staff member for Upper Deck.
Sweet.
So Marvel Legendary was a big one where I would help set up and either demo the game or teach the game. So for me, my experiences mostly with cons have either been playing at Adepticon or judging card games at Gen Con and Origins and things like that.
But now you're free.
Yeah, now I can just play.
Also, you guys look really young. You have a lot of experience.
What?
No.
You guys look really young, like 35 maybe, but you sound like you have like 40 years of gaming experience.
Steph is a little bit newer. I know that.
Yeah, I've only been painting for a year and a half.
Yeah, I knew she's on the newer side.
I started Warhammer Fantasy in 1997.
I was 5.
Yeah.
You were 5?
Yeah, I'm 30. I'm 30.
He
I'm 33
definitely
right
was, yeah. Like, I didn't even know what model games were until I met Dylan 8 years ago. Like, I mean, like, I knew about historical. Like, I was very aware that, like, royals would do this when they were having war, and they would, like, put models out and, like, make war plans. And I also understood that they like to historically recreate those with models. But other than that, I didn't know people built models and played war games. Like, I just didn't know it existed.
I knew nothing about any of this until I started dating Brendan.
Same. 100% same, yeah.
I didn't even
And I was
know.
like, it seems
She was dating
cool.
Brandon. She was dating Brandon, right?
Yeah. It's the sexier, like, twin.
Yeah, Brandon was in the
It
40K.
took-
I like these Marvel and Star
It
Wars.
took me a second. Like, at first I was like, well, it's cool and it's artsy, but you're playing with dollies. Like, that was the monologue I was having in my head. And then I was like, I guess I probably said something a little bit more mild to Dylan, like, don't you feel like you're playing with toys? And he was like, no, I feel like I'm not wasting my money on drugs and alcohol.
What?
I was like, I have no more arguments, you win.
Fair.
Have I told you my story about how I got into it when I was 10 years old?
Well, you're about to,
Please
so go
do.
ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might as well. So I used to live in New York State. That's actually where my extended family's from, like Buffalo. So, Rochester.
So you're like an Eskimo.
The west side, the northwest side of the state. But anyways, we went to the mall, and there was a store called Games Workshop, and I was so excited. I thought it was like a video game store, and we were looking through the window, and I saw all these boxes of, At the time, it was the Bretonians versus the Lizardmen set. Whatever
Good
box
old
set that was.
Lustria.
How pretty.
That was
Yeah, I don't
fourth
remember.
edition,
I don't
think.
remember what edition it was, but it was Bretonians versus Lizardmen. But I saw all these boxes and I thought they were video games. And so we go in there, and there was like this nice Games Workshop guy. He's like, "Are you familiar with our games?" And we just kind of did a demo of the. I think you got like some archers and some knights, and then there were some skinks and some swords warriors, and it was not a very long demo at all, and I was hooked, and I wanted to do more.
But it is so perfectly crafted, the Games Workshop, for getting people into the game. It is just perfectly crafted. I don't think Games Workshop stores are very well crafted for the experienced gamer, because you know too much and they can't hold your hand unless it's release day. But I think it's perfection for getting the new gamer in.
They still do that business model. You see it. I mean, we have one in in our hometown, where it's it's usually one guy that's running the store, and there's a lot of product on the walls, and there's maybe 2 tables to play on and 1 table to paint on. You know what I mean?
And they're so beautifully terrained. Oh my God, the most beautifully terrained tables you will ever see in your life.
But you're not going to run a tournament through a Games Workshop store.
No. Definitely not.
They'll sell you the models so you can build your army and go play at the other game store, a couple blocks away, where they run Magic and miniature tournaments.
Who also probably sell the same models at 10% off.
Yes.
But you wouldn't have known to go into that store until you'd gone into a Games Workshop store, because the Games Workshop stores can afford to be so much more visible. Like you were walking in the mall and you found it.
Yes. Like an inside.
So, like they can really, like they can really put themselves out there, like so much more. Like I think about the Games Workshop that's in Brookline.
That's Boston for everybody listening.
So many people go by that store, and I would imagine that like parents and kids walk by that store a lot, because it's a very like foot traffic heavy area. So, kind of the same situation with it being in a Galleria mall. Like you're just going to get people in there, and once you get them in, they'll find a place to play.
Mm-hmm. Or just in their basement kitchen table to start with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once you get addicted to good tables, though, it's hard to go back. I do enjoy having awesome terrain way too much.
Or your core friends at your favorite store.
Yep.
Or your favorite coffee shop near your favorite store. Like there's a lot of different things that brings you into the hobby.
That is something that I'm always amazed that more stores don't do, is have a restaurant attached to the game store itself, which I know is probably subject to a lot of like local city ordinances and all that stuff. But it's amazing that there's not as much crossover on that.
Yeah, I think that would be very challenging in a lot of areas. I think that Connecticut store is a special place and a special time.
Yeah. So the battle standard, they just, I guess, I'm not sure the right way to put it, but they just recently reopened in Stamford, I want to say it is. Where did Kara say the most beautiful terrain is at? Well, she's never seen the Adepticon terrain. And we weren't talking about terrain. I think we were talking about like the restaurant aspect.
No, I said the most beautiful terrain was at GW stores. I did say that.
Yeah, I do think they have nice terrain there. Most of the ones that I've gone to these days, the effort has been a lot lower. But if you go to those older GW stores, the terrain in those places is amazing, just because a lot of that stuff is handcrafted. Where
depends on the manager and how much they cared and how long they worked there.
Right. So like if you go to the ones nowadays, I think they've gone more corporate in regards to they just they have their required L shapes,
3 paints or 5 paints.
So yeah, it's interesting to see the changes in even the mentality of how GW shows off their game, and I agree that I think GW is probably really is a good gateway for people to get into the hobby, and then that's where they nab them. But I do think that the bucket that is at the bottom of GW, I think is the sieve has gotten a lot bigger than it used to, just because of their current day practices. I'm assuming you agree in that regard.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's 3D printing now. I mean, and a lot of other games are more accessible.
Yeah.
I guess. Who knows? A starter set of Legion, you could play a game out of that. A starter set of 40k is half an army, half of one army, maybe.
Yep.
Um,
But like a starter box for a GW game probably gets you 500 points these days, probably between 500 and 750, and you figure their standard size is 2,000. Like that speaks volumes of like what their goal is, right? But like they're a publicly traded company. I get it. Money's how they survive. They got bills to pay, yada yada. But I do think that they could potentially earn more if they weren't so predatorily practiced, because people are doing everything they can to not get trapped in it. If that
yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, I'm enjoying one-page rules,
Yeah.
and it was free. If I want the advanced rules, I can pay for it, but you can get started for free.
Yep.
So, great.
Yeah, Tisdale, I do agree. I think the terrain at Adepticon is especially top notch.
Forgive me, I haven't been there yet.
That's yeah, right. So, especially for like a game, like just an event of that size, right? You figure you have that size and caliber, but it's very true that anybody that goes to Adepticon, if you see the terrain there, it's very good, but they do put a lot of effort into it. I mean, they do have like very specific things that they do to have stuff at a certain quality, and there's just a group of people in the background that are constantly just making sure that the Adepticon event is as strong as it is. Obviously, I would assume you agree with me in that Adepticon is most assuredly the best miniatures event in existence currently.
And just so you guys know, like, I stay home to save us money. Like, it saves us money on dog care. It saves us money on my flight. So, like, it's not that I don't want to go to Adepticon. It's just not quite in our budget yet. But one day,
You need to come some year.
Did you go on a family vacation? Because you can just divert those funds over to
that's
our family vacation is usually a con, and this year we planned on Nova.
On Nova, you said. Yeah.
Yep. So Nova is something we are planning on doing this year. It was between that or NashCon.
Remind me where Nova is. Is that New Orleans?
It's essentially DC.
DC. Okay.
It's not technically DC, right? It's like the town outside of it or something. It's like right outside of DC. But yeah, DC's like it's like literally it's like Schaumburg to Chicago.
There is a portion of DC, like a suburb or a borough of DC, that is called Nova. It's near, I think, a hospital called Nova. And so, like, that's a part of town. And that's where the con started, but the con is no longer held in the Nova part of DC.
Gotcha.
For the record, Tisdale, no, I did not choose Adepticon. Or I did not choose Nova over Adepticon. I'm still going to Adepticon. Kara was just... We were going to go to another con. It was between that, Gen Con, or Nova.
Right, that's just the con we're going to together. He gets to go to many cons without me, and I stay with the doggies for him.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of August.
Yeah, at the end of August, yes. Because because that's when Nova is, and then NashCon is. It's like 2 weeks before or after it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 2 weeks before. We got a really great hotel deal.
Yeah.
Dylan found us this great hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue, and it looked like old and historic. And it was actually cheaper than the Nova hotels. And you know, if you guys go there with your kids, like, all the museums are free, assuming democracy is still in place by August.
And the con is like 15-minute drive, 30-minute walk, something like that.
Yeah. August is hard to take the kids anywhere because they're back in school and marching band season just started. And,
Yeah.
Our part of the summer is June
yeah.
with the split custody stuff, so we're going to Origins in June.
It's a good choice.
That works out.
They just announced that there will be Blood and Plunder stuff there this year, which I don't think there was before. So that was kind of one of the indicating reasons. Yeah, one of the main decision makers in that regard, where we would go play that. You know, I'm sure at some point she will come to Adepticon. It's just a matter of when. And when we move to our new place, because we intend to move pretty soon. We might have better access to like somebody who can take care of the dogs, so we don't have to like pay for it or whatever. But
it'll be easier to get to the airport from there.
My dog goes to my parents, so she gets to go stay with Grandma and Grandpa.
yeah, see that helps. Because the only other people that I would think of that we could ask to have people like take care of them would be people who are probably going to go to Adepticon with us.
No,
Yeah.
I think once we get out there, we'll be closer to my working people.
So you're excited about the boats, but are you doing land battles?
So
And-
I will probably do both. The only thing that might change it is Monster Fight Club has I literally just found out, and they just found out that they will probably be going to Nova, and I will more than likely try and play in their event, just because I work pretty close with with Monster Fight Club.
Which is totally understandable. Like, yeah, they're a big part of your like podcast and everything else.
So I want to do right by them, and if maybe I'll help them with the booth or something, or I'll at least try and play in their event. Mike is definitely going there to play in the event, so I'll probably play that. So I will play in the Blood and Plunder event that is not on the same day as the event if they do one. So to answer your question, I would do either one, and I might do both, but it just depends on what Monster Fight Club's doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I think the natural progression is to play land and then work your way up to sea battles. But you're doing sea battles. Are you going backwards by starting on at sea and then
100%.
working back to land?
100%. I am totally starting with the sea battles. That is the only thing I'm playing at Nova.
Yeah, I think in a weird way, the boat battles make it kind of easier because you don't have to worry about movement.
But you're moving the boat.
Right. But that's all. The only thing that's moving, and your entire army moves like with it. So as long as you get the concept.
177 likes.
Congrats.
Commented on this Gen Z's post, and they liked it. They thought I was funny. The Gen
She's
Z's
talking
thought
off
I was funny.
What was that? So yeah. So it's like if you get the complexity of moving the boat, now all of a sudden you don't have to worry about spending fatigue on moving more than 8 inches, whenever you're on land, and just all those little variations. And when you're on a boat, it's a lot harder to get to 3 actions when you don't want to move. You know what I mean?
I also feel like on the boat, you can kind of like, you're totally loaded on the boat. So whatever side of your boat ends up getting on the side of the boat you're fighting, depending on what you have, you may have swivel guns and or cannons. Today I had both.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of firepower that you can shoot on that one side while you're kind of limping over to the other boat. And I'm pirate, so I am always trying to board because I know that's going to give him a strike point.
Right. You just gotta do the charge into their boat and get the one person over there to give them the strike point. I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Enemy, as long as there's an enemy on your flagship, you will get a strike point.
Yeah. I was trying to charge onto a flute, but the walls of the flute are
tall.
so high. Yeah, it takes you a whole dedicated action to get up there. So I grappled, could not then climb, and so he charged down at me to fight me on my boat to give me that strike point.
So, I think the best way to do it in that regard is have 2 units unassigned on whatever deck of your ship that you're hoping to board with, and then just activate your commander and do it with command points.
Yes.
So that is the thing that Kara's just been having a nightmare of a time remembering, is that getting on and off of a gun is a dedicated action, which I think that is not my favorite rule in the world, but it's what it is. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me that just walking up to a gun and being like, and just putting your hand on it takes is an entire turn.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, it is what it is. It's not like I can change it.
When I was first trying to figure out how the game worked, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just spend an action to come off the guns, and then my next unit will just spend an action to get back on and then fire.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. It's really hard to actually be able to switch out squads that are assigned to things.
Yep. And it's funny. And it's funny that the most recent FAQ actually specifically called that strategy out.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I do agree. There's obviously some kind of gameplay mechanic behind it, but yeah, it's a bit. It feels weird.
Yeah, and you definitely want to have people not assigned. That was something that I learned pretty early on. Like when my ship got fires and I had no one that could fix it.
Yep. So okay, so how did you do in the sea tournament?
Well, we were supposed to play 3 rounds. I only played 2 rounds, and I lost the 2 rounds I played. So
like when you say 3 rounds, you mean 3 picks of cards, 3 hands of cards?
No, 3 games.
3 games.
At
Okay.
the Sea Battles event, you play 3 games. So the first round, I'm playing the sneaky voodoo pirates. I played against British cannons.
Yep.
And failed my roll, and so I got cannoned. I never sunk, but I was basically sailing splinters around, so one more shot was going to sink me. I shot some dudes off of his boat, but I lost because, he wrecked me. And then round 2, I played against Joe, who's one of the Blood and Pigment guys.
Yep, the flute.
And I did the sneaky pirate thing. I flew false colors. I snuck in there. He never got to shoot at me. But the flute thing happened where he got to charge me first. And so through the course of melee, I lost my captain getting punched, and that cost me the game. I'm glad I did it.
He gets discharged first because he was on a flute ship?
Right. So I grappled his ship, and I was able to. I had to sail over. I had to get my timing just right. Okay. So at the end of the last round, I had just moved within 12, so the flying false colors came down, and then I played the 13 of spades. So I got to then go first, and I got up to his boat, and I grappled the boat, but because if the decks are more than an inch higher than yours, it's a dedicated action to charge up there. So I was able to grab onto his ship, but not charge up there.
Not climb it, yeah.
Yeah, and so he's like, well, then his immediate next action is to charge down at me, so that way he's giving me that strike point and not the other way around.
So that's the one disadvantage of using... But you obviously weren't using a boat, but a lot of the boats are so close to the ground, it's actually like kind of... it is, well, for lack of a better term, it's a dedicated thing to get off the boat.
But it's so fast.
They can be, like, the Parag was pretty fast.
I was going to say the meta for, well, whatever meta could be with
sure.
tournament once a year, there were more flutes and there were more frigates sailed than anything else.
And I think that's because they just recently increased the points of it, because it used to be 200 and it was 250.
So maybe we shouldn't buy big boats until like right before Depicon next year, so we know what the big boats need to be. Because they might change the rules right before Depicon next year.
It's not that. I don't think any rules changes for that game are going to be enough to stop us from not winning.
A flute. I do want a flute.
The flute is a very cool looking boat. It's very pretty.
It's supposed to be like a fortress. I think it
Yes.
has six 3 decks, 2 cannon pairs per deck.
And a poop
It's
deck.
the most majestic boat in the game. I'm sorry, it just is.
It's a piece of Dutch architecture. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I think we need to keep this because this.
The
looks
guy who
like
won
it
Best
would
Painted
be in
Horse
Amsterdam.
was.
This looks like
Well,
a
They
Have
can't
you
hear
seen
you.
his
They
stuff?
cannot hear you.
I know they can't hear me, but I'm talking.
Can't hear me?
No, we can hear you. Kara's just talking to me off the mic, and I'm listening
Oh,
to
okay.
like 3 different people talking to me.
Sorry. If you saw the guy who got Best Painted Boat, it was a flute.
Yep.
And I think he did some special oil washes to really get the wood grain to stand out, and it was a really great looking boat.
All right, Kara, what were you saying?
Okay, so I was saying that I think this building looks like a European Dutch, like customs house.
Sure.
Not American, but definitely European. I feel like this is the same. I don't think we should get rid of this because I feel like this is the same as Pirate. It's just European, not Caribbean.
Well, we're not gonna be. I mean, yeah, but where are you gonna find where are you gonna find old European buildings in the Caribbean?
I mean, this is what they would have stored the sugar in when they were taking it back to Dutchland.
I don't think they would have done that at all.
I watched that Anna Joy Taylor movie on PBS. I know about the Dutch and the sugar.
I thought you were playing Ghosts.
Well, let's just say her pirate force has a lot of Dutchmen on it.
They just sail on a ghost ship. They're just a ghost ship armada, but they're all real men. None of them are fake. Don't call my guys dead.
Okay, so they're human dudes that are sailing a ghost ship?
100%. They stole it. They're pirates.
Okay.
They
Wow,
stole the ghost boat.
They stole it from the ghost, and they stole it from Davy Jones.
Okay, so that's 2 different aesthetics. One has tentacles, and the other one's just ethereal.
Just a ghost ship, yeah.
Yeah, so this is totally gonna be like black and green, like Sea of Thieves. You know when you die and you go on that ship and then you have to wait and go through the door before you can respawn?
I think that's
Sea of Thieves is a board is a video game for the PC.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you look up the Sea of Thieves respawn, what would you call that? Lobby?
I think he's called the Ferryman.
The Ferryman, or the respawn lobby. I think you probably would find that. It's just black and green ethereal light.
So glowy.
Yes.
Like the Return of the King, the
Yes.
Men of the Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah, you're thinking of Dunharrow.
Similar, less skeletons.
Okay.
Wait,
Are
so
you gonna
the
do this
humans
that
held
same
the ghosts
kind
at
of
gunpoint
paint
to get their ghost ship?
that you normally do for
Wilmar, you're on to it, yeah. Sorry, someone in the chat, Wilmar, he was saying, he's asking a very important question. He's asking, wait, so the humans held the ghosts at gunpoint to get their ghost ship? Kara's the only one that can answer this. Because it doesn't make sense to anyone else, so it's just gotta be her. Here we go. This is gonna be an
The
adventure.
humans boarded the ghost ship.
Don't know how that's possible in the first place, but please continue.
Essayed, YouTube slang, essayed all of the pirate bones, threw them off the ship, and stole their pirate ghost ships. They have a whole armada because I've already ordered a piragua that's also going to be a ghost ship. And I'm going to get a bigger ship, which I think will be a flute, and it will also be a ghost ship. They're all going to be ghost ships in my first armada. Maybe the next one I'll try to paint a little better.
I think I did something wrong with her model. The gun has a notch in the ground where... That's fine. Gun's supposed to be touching the ground. I don't know what I did wrong.
Steph, you didn't do anything wrong.
Absolutely nothing with that kind of
Her arm is just attached a little bit too high, so the gun doesn't rest on the ground. I don't think it matters. Do you?
Okay. I mean, I don't think it looks bad. Do you?
No. Stephanie's really proud of her Elsa, Bloodstone, and Man Thing that she's working on right
All right,
now.
so
Put it in the whip.
all
I
right,
put Man Thing in the whip.
we can check in a sec.
I just put a bunch of speed paint on him, so he's drying.
Wilmar is saying, okay, fine, Modbot, Dylan, quiet down so she can give us the deep ghost lore. Dylan, shut up. Let her give us the deep lore. The deep lore. I don't know what the. I did shut up. I let her tell the entire story. What else do you want me to do? I'm just saying, a human can't stand on a ghost boat because there's no substance.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't say it. You did.
Everything is
A substance.
If
The ghost exists. To stand on something with substance. How else would anything else be? It'd just be floating in the water. No. The ghost boat is fully physical. And so are the ghosts. They have returned to Earth to inhabitate our world
and torture
pirates.
But the pirates
She's yelling.
Decided to
She's yelling.
their boat. And so now they have a
pirate ghost armada.
It's all fun and games.
It's my fantasy.
Okay. I glued those Dutchmen to their bases.
Oh, the back of Palpatine's chair is actually purple. I never noticed that before.
But are his eyes purple?
Yeah, I was unaware that they took out all that many units in Legion. That's a new one to me. I never. That seems kind of weird that they would have those models.
Somebody did a meme like burying their dead, or or like, hey, I don't need to paint these in my pile of shame now that I can't play them.
What a gift, AMG! What a gift,
Pile of
AMG!
shame alleviated.
What a
Right?
gift AMG have given us this day. So Mr. Tisdale said that he is going to be in charge of a lot of the Legion stuff that's going on at Adepticon. I don't know if that's a spoiler
Oh, cool.
or doxing anybody or whatever, but
Ooh, that's kind of sexy.
supposedly the thing. And he likes Empire because he's a tyrannical tyrant, right? And he's going to be paying me in...
Is it Empire the Loyalists? I think the Rebels would be the pirates, babe.
I didn't call them pirates. I said he was tyrannical. And he's going to be paying me in the shadow, the scum starter that he's had just sitting around that he's been asking me to paint 1,000 times. So as soon as he gives it to me,
Man.
I'm just going to drop literally everything and only paint Star Wars stuff until the day I die. Because I love Star Wars and everybody knows that. Everybody knows I'm a huge Star Wars.
That's our new game. We're gonna play in Pirates and start playing Star Wars.
Pirates is stupid. Pirates is my old best friend. Star Wars Legion is my new best friend.
Space Pirates.
Yeah, actually, yes. Funnily enough, I will be playing the Space Pirates.
Hondo and friends.
I don't think Hondo's in
Isn't
that
it?
army.
They announced that Hondo is coming in a year or two.
See, that's cool.
Or I don't know what factions. He's probably going to be in every faction because that's just how Hondo rolls. But
Let her give us the deep lore. How do you know? Have you boarded a ghost ship? The best part is the double voice from Kara, so this stream is extra spooky. Listen, I just wanted clarification so I could be immersed, Kara. I have a Shatterpoint commission for you, actually. Are you torturing me? Are you Yeah, you guys. Yeah, the Borns are a little new to this.
Commission your contrast colors.
There's a whole thing.
So does that mean Tisdale won't be involved in MCP next year?
He's gonna have to answer that. I don't know. I don't even know if he was at liberty to say or whatever. But I just know that he is, on some level, gonna be involved with Legion.
I want to know who thinks they're commissioning me because that's hilarious.
I don't know if they were talking to you, Kara. Wilmar, are you torturing me? Lifting all them models will help your gains. Yeah, you're right. Help my little twig arms. Apparently, that's the new bit, guys. Borns.
Oh my God, your arms are sexy. You should not let them say that about you. Also, your underwear is sexy, even though they tease you about it.
Well, if you are, or if he is involved with Star Wars Legion, I think Stephanie and I ask if we are allowed to ask anything, or what one recommendation, one thing that we would love to see
I allow it.
Is love put onto teams as much as worlds. A couple years ago, Ryan from the Stabcast was the guy who ran the Legion doubles, and he put so much love and he made it so much fun, just like a doubles event should be. And we fell in love with Legion as a couple because of the way he ran things. It was so much fun. But then, since then, the TOs changed every year, and we haven't seen someone put as much care into doubles like he used to. When we played doubles last year with our Mandalorians, the ball was very much dropped. You know, people didn't matter when they came back from lunch, that kind of thing, and
they rushed us at our last.
Yeah, they didn't.
At our last game last year.
They didn't want to give out medals, and those. It was this whole thing, but really, we would love to see.
Like, my best experience was playing doubles with Dylan in Song of Ice and Fire. I had a really good time. It was just my favorite experience. I don't think we won or even we did very well because I suck, but it's a good experience and it was a really nice couple experience.
Yeah, and that's what we love doing is the team events. And that, I mean, it wasn't bad. Like this year because everything was all on the same day, we had to pick just one. We couldn't do MCP and Legion, so because we were further along with our MCP stuff, that was an obvious choice. So
sure.
Yeah, so we had our decision made for us.
I do agree. I think the team stuff at Adepticon is one of the most defining parts of Adepticon. It's a shame that it doesn't feel like it was the main focus, or at least it felt more like an afterthought. Tisdale, are you still here? Did you hear all that? I'll tell him if he's not here. Well, you know what? Maybe at some point, it probably won't be next year. Let's put it that way. Okay, here's Tizzy. We will be putting more emphasis on different Legion events, is what he says.
Awesome.
And Tisdale's voice is kind of like gold, so you know that's true.
That. Because I think Legion Teams needs to become what it used to be and have it be fun and.
Wow.
Well, we don't want to say what it used to be because we want it to grow and get better and go in the future. But like Marvel Crisis Protocol, there were 10-ish really nice boards. People, having fun. Maybe would like to see more like spirit type of words with MCP2, but like what you see in the big 40K teams, we want a slice of that in all of the game systems team events where people dress up or do display boards or do shots to their opponents, that kind of.
Did you see what Tisdale said? Okay, it's fine. I can read. I was just saying because what you said is kind of like directly what he just said. He said MCP teams did not feel like an afterthought.
No, it did not.
Right, exactly.
CP Teams was a great event.
You can make it your main event, and that's definitely what we did.
Yep. So
we had much fun at MCP.
Yeah.
So at some point, maybe one day, I will be in one of these Legion events. Is that what you're paying me in, Tizzy? Are you still paying me in that Shadow Collective thing?
Pretty sure. F Star Wars.
That's the one part of Star Wars I can actually tolerate, is like the criminal underground stuff. That stuff I actually find kind of interesting.
Dylan,
But
when are we gonna see you back in an MCP Teams event?
Well, the big problem is I really don't have anybody to play with because I can't really play with PCN because they're too busy doing the stream. And my buddy Saul, he didn't enjoy Well, let me rephrase it. He enjoyed doing the team stuff for MCP, but every year we've played, we've bumped into whatever the boogeyman at the time was. So, like, he played against Brotherhood a couple times when we played. I want to say not the year that we met. I think it was the year after, so this would have been like 3 years ago. Whatever it was. Yeah, we played against some people that really turned him off of it, and he only plays MCP at Adepticon essentially. So he was just interested in playing other games. So I don't know.
We know one team in particular that's not exactly fun to play against.
Yeah.
But most of them really are.
Yeah. I would say 4 out of 5 of the people that you play against are great. And
Definitely.
then you bump into the people for some reason they think winning the team event is just like the goal of the con.
Right.
I'm probably a little more sensitive than most gamers, but that's just because I don't have much experience.
Well,
But yeah.
with Legion
And
doubles,
Dr.D is super easy on me.
I was gonna say for Legion doubles, the awards that they did were best spirit and best theme.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to do it, where, you know, winning your game is great, and sometimes they get a little prize for doing that, but winning teams is the sportsmanship and hobby.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
You don't get a medal for winning the team event. You
Mhm.
get a medal for having best spirit or best theme, and that's what we went for.
That's why we play the way we do, and we got
Wait.
best theme 3 years in a row for Legion.
You guys clearly don't understand that when I'm playing these games, it's to have a little thing to collect the tears of the people I play against.
I don't know, Dr. D. I mean, you seem to really appreciate best painted. If you can come away with the best painted, you're usually pretty happy with your con experience.
Yeah, quite honestly, that is very true. Because in the Cyberpunk event, it was the first one that they've done, because the game is still pretty young. I almost won it. I almost walked away. I almost walked away with the win, but I did walk away with best painted.
I'm going to have to brag about Dr. D because it is April 22nd, 2025, and says January 1st he has painted 69 models in completion since January 1st.
It's more than that now. It's more than that right now, but...
Okay, that's what he told me this morning. It's more than that since this morning, apparently.
As of right now, the number of models I've painted since the beginning of the year is 71.
71. It was 69 this morning.
What?
To completion. 69 to completion is what
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah, and some of those is stuff like the boat.
Completion.
So the boat
Yeah,
was
like
one.
the boat took forever. The boat should be like at least 10 models, if not 15.
There's a point. We have a point system.
It was a big boat. He took forever on it, and he can paint a model. He can start a model after I go to bed at night, which is like maybe between 9 and 10 p.m. And he can finish that model to completion with varnish before 2 or 3 a.m. when he goes to bed.
We need to stop saying
To completion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Tizzy. We're just gonna let it go though. Otherwise, I get yelled at.
What did I say?
You said the wrong date. It's April 21st.
What did I say?
I think you said the 25th. It's not important. It's not a big deal.
It was an accident to see. Also, like,
They can't hear you.
Jin's in at this point, Tizzy.
To completion.
Give me a break.
Wilmar, don't start.
So start, Wilmar. Please start.
So yeah, I will say the Song of Ice and Fire game that me and Kara did, it was a team event. Very small, like super tiny. There was like 4 teams, I think. We only played 2 games because like you could only have, so many people that played. And
I'm gonna tell you guys that it felt like an all-day event to me, and I felt like I was like busy all day, and I thought we played like 5.
2 rounds?
I think it was only 2 because there just weren't a lot of people.
2 full games, not 2 rounds.
But it was a fun. It is fun, definitely. Especially because like even when I was playing with Saul, it's you play games with people who don't necessarily play that game all that often. Because he's more of like a 40k guy, and being able to like kind of get to see somebody have that like childhood innocence in a game still is always kind of a fun little side activity.
They change the rules a lot, so if you don't play it like consistently, it can be kind of a lot.
Kara's talking about
That's
something
with a
else.
lot of games, though. A lot of games are changing up their rules a little more often than I'd like.
Yeah, like 100%. Like I would play 40k if there were no stratagems.
Yeah, well, so before you tell her, yeah, I've alluded to one-page rules to her like 1,000 times. Because I've also been playing that locally quite a bit. Like we usually play it every Sunday, and it is just a blast and a half.
It's on my radar. Like, but somebody's gonna have to give me some nights on horsies.
Some knights on horses. I have an entire Bretonnian army right there.
But isn't that what you're playing when you go to one page?
I mean, it's Warhammer Fantasy. I've got a couple armies of that. I got undead. I got
Can I play the
chaos.
boogeyman, the booger guy, Booger King?
You want to play King Booger? Sure.
Can I play King Booger? Oh man, that army is so fucking delicious.
It's a Nurgle.
What are the horse getting finished to
Oh,
completion?
It's a Nurgle
Booger
demon.
King, I get it now.
It's
Nurglings.
a Nurgle demon.
So much gore and deliciousness.
Walmart, you need to stop. You're being a bad man.
Wilmar, are you making fun of me? I need to start reading the chat.
I'm not gonna say anything. But the answer is probably yes. I would never. Yeah, because I played Legion. I played Legion over the course of COVID, and I thought the game was actually pretty fun. It's just a constant battle of just disliking the Star Wars IP, where it just doesn't inspire me. It's not that I dislike. It's not that I hate the Star Wars IP. I just find it very meticulously boring because it doesn't move very much. Yes, there are definitely 69 horses that were finished to completion.
The Star Wars universe bores you?
It does bore me. A lot of the Jedi stuff does. That's why I find the criminal underground stuff is significantly more interesting.
Okay, so like when Mandalorian came out, was that like a revolutionizing
very,
for you?
Very good. Yes, I loved that.
Yes.
Because that was actually interesting. It's less, less the entire universe focusing on a single family.
Right. It's not the Skywalker saga.
Correct.
Although Skywalker.
Well,
Oh no!
yeah, right. Yeah. Although in the end, it always is, isn't it? So that was a nice refresher. That's why I said to myself it would either have to be the Republic Army, or it would have to be the Shadow Syndicate. And I bought the Republic, and I did eventually sell them in my binging. And by binging, I mean selling everything in my house, which we've significantly reduced the amount of stuff in the house.
I probably need to purge. We have multiple armies for all the factions now. Yeah.
It's a good feeling when it's a problem, right? Because you're like, oh yeah, I like multiple armies and blah, blah, blah. If you just played a single game, it probably would be fine. But when you start owning multiple armies of multiple games, that's when you're like, okay, something's gone terribly wrong.
I already learned this lesson with Warhammer Fantasy. I have like 4 or 5 different armies, and I still make that same mistake.
Stuff to find a new home in the garage.
Or you just sell it, Steph. and learn the
I
lesson.
tried that, and he was like, "Oh, but
Not the wood elves. We can't sell the wood elves.
I can't sell that."
So that's why you sell the second army.
But what if I play the old world and
You're never gonna play it.
I'm signed up for a league for it?
You did?
Yeah. I hadn't told you that yet.
Oh.
Wow.
See what happens when we get on Dr.D stream.
It's when all the secret comes. It's the unlimited power being exuded by Mr. Palpatine here. Give in to your anger. Good, good. Okay, so I have no room. What do you mean you have no room? I have no. When you get into the what if conversation, that's when the thing has to go away. That's true. That's a very good way to put it, actually. Did you hear that, Borns?
What's that?
So, Wilmar and me, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna call him out per se, but Wilmar is very much a enjoyer of games, and he loves to own many of these games. And he said wisely that if you ever have to say what if in regards to you getting rid of something, it's probably time to let go of it.
Oh, I see. I mean, I haven't touched it in years.
Yep.
It's set in the bin, but it's painted decently well, and I could bring it out of the box and play at any time.
But I don't want to. So I think you'll enjoy the Old World League. I think I've really enjoyed my time with Old World. Kara's over there having a little giggle fit. What are you laughing at?
How you changed topic so quickly. It was funny.
So I was a big Warhammer Fantasy player. I was a huge Warhammer Fantasy enjoyer. Had multiple armies, yada yada. I sold a lot. I sold some of it here, there, blah blah blah. I had my Bretonians. I never let go of them because that was my first army that I was like, this is mine, you know.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because you still play with them.
I do. And to that topic, I have found that Warhammer the Old World as a rule set is actually pretty good. The biggest issue with it is that because it is attached to that GW, umbrella, you are going to constantly see the flaws of the system, and they will never go away because they will never fix it, and they will not do anything to alleviate it or whatever. So,
But that's like historical nostalgia.
well, they can historic nostalgia out of my house because I don't want to keep buying stuff and not be I feel like I'm not respected. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. That was always my argument against GW.
Does that make sense to you, Mr. Bourne?
But they're gonna change the rules when they come out with Old World 2.0.
Shh, great. Awesome. Magnificent. I'll play Blood and Plunder until I die.
Pirates are.
So, I went into Old World, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought that the rules were actually pretty well written. I think it's a very good greatest hits of some of the previous things from previous editions. I think it's really good. Kind of just a good way to bring the game back.
He's always just sweet, optimistic.
And I was very excited to play it. But the only issue is that there is one glaring flaw with it in that it is very heavily skewed to bringing heroes on to bringing Lord level characters on giant monsters because they are just probably too cheap and they're way too effective. And the addition is not nice to heavy infantry especially, but infantry are just not good. And when you think of Warhammer Fantasy, I don't know about you, but I think of mass infantry, right? Running up in formation and standing next to each other as they get killed by whatever god awful thing exists in the Warhammer universe. And you cannot play it that way if your opponent decides that they don't want to play it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you might have started after I did, because when I started, it was very Hero Hammer-ish, and it was all about those big characters, and I had Orion and Ariel of the Forest, and then next edition came, and then it was all about having
Hordes.
50 dudes ranked up, and having so many ranks that you can't be broken, and stuff like that.
And so that was I also did not like that aspect of it, because it should be somewhere in the middle, right? I think everybody should have their time respected, and everything should be a viable choice. But the current edition of the game is fixable, and I think that you can have your cake and eat it too if they just change some of the army construction rules. And so now you have people out there who are trying to do that, where they're like, hey, if you come to our event, we're using Joe Blow's rule set, right? Where it's called Core Hammer or whatever. And you play by these certain rules, and as long as you do that, you know, a lot of the problems go away. Where it's like, yeah, instead of only having to have a tax of 25% of your army being core, it's like, no, now half of your army has to be core, and your ability to bring giant monsters on lower level characters is going to be severely hindered. Instantly fixes the game. Correct. Because currently it's 50. You could bring up to 50% of your list as just lord level characters on mounts.
On a dragon.
On whatever, yeah. I say lord level specifically because they're usually the ones that can ride dragons, or what's the other big ones, like the Hippogriff for Bretonians.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times those are the ones that are the problem. I think even the more tiny monster mounts aren't necessarily as bad, but the critical mass that you get from the Lord level upgrade on the dragon or whatever.
You know how long I've been waiting for this?
Oh, thank you.
Make a name for myself here.
Josh, thank you very much for the gifted sub, buddy. Hi, Josh. And then Mr. Wilmar saying when you get into the what if. Yeah, I'm sorry. Here, I already read that. But yeah, and that I think is interesting because it opens up the discussion of, well, we know that GW isn't going to fix their game. What if we fix it? And then when you read all of the discussion on forums, who the hell reads a forum anymore? On Discords or on Facebook groups, a lot of the discussion turns into, yeah, that fixes the game, but now you have different people playing different versions of the same game. And
it's confirmed that GW's not doing patches and updates for Old World?
So they are doing FAQs and all that. They've been doing that since the game came out fairly reliably, but a lot of the FAQs and stuff are just like, they're just FAQs, right? They're not really fixing point totals. They're not really addressing any of the core issues. Where it's like, the first two FAQs for that game were so embarrassingly stupid, in my opinion, where they answered questions like, what is movement?
Okay.
It's like, bro, if this is what we're talking about, can we please fix the problems? Like everybody, and you could see that in a lot of the people that were talking about the fixes. They're like, are they going to talk about the 50 other things that we know are confirmed problems? Mm-hmm. And it makes me think of all of the games that GW abandons, because they do it all the time, that have thrived while not being under the yoke of their corporate stupidity, right? So you think of Battlefleet Gothic, I think has done significantly better, not underneath their umbrella. Blood Bowl sang as a game when it wasn't under the yoke of it. I think Mordheim's a lot better, just because of the...
Mordheim seems to have blossomed under just like community.
Correct. So it's, in my opinion, I think the best aspects of playing a GW game are they release it, and they're like, yeah, we're GW, look at us dance, we're so cute, right? Yeah, look at me, I'm a little dolly, I released the thing. And then you walk up and you take the little toy that they're holding, he's like, thank you, GW, we'll take it from here. And then you kind of push them, and you push them, and you push them, and then eventually you get to like the beach, and you keep pushing, and then you go, you take your snorkel, and you just kind of keep on pushing, and then you just dump them in the Mariana Trench where they belong, right? And then you're like, thank you for making this, GW, we'll take it from here, thank you. And I think that pretty much all of the games that we have, quote-unquote, taken from them have done so much better, not being under their watchful eye, I guess is the best way to put it. Does that make sense? Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't play Necromunda.
I think GW has a really solid network for lore.
Sure.
They have a really solid network for
They can make nice
mass,
models.
mass distribution or mass fabrication and distribution.
Sure.
Design.
But they might not be the best at developing community and community rules.
Well, because I think it's just so, and I'm sure, well, this topic has probably been talked to ad nauseum, where there's clearly a corporate bean counter somewhere in the rule development room, just like sitting there in the cuck chair, just being like, yeah, you write those rules. Yeah, I like that. All right, yeah, now I want you to make them bigger. Yeah, make that unit even bigger. Yeah, less points. Yeah. Now I want you to make a goat noise. You know, it's like stuff like that. Blood Bowl flourished after GW first dumped it. I agree. And funnily enough, I think the current edition of Blood Bowl is actually pretty good, but that's only because it's had, what did it have? Like it was like 10 years of community run Blood Bowl, and it's because they haven't, stifled that community kind of creativity. Have you played Blood Bowl at all, Mr. Brandon?
I've not really.
It's pretty good.
Like occasionally I would look into it,
Lower
and I
those
had this
points
pipe dream
to completion.
of getting my football liking friends into it to get them over to miniatures, but it never really happened.
Wilmar has asked me to lower those points to completion. Yeah, the community basically said you can have the game back, but need to use our rules, right? And I think that was a money thing, right? Because they wanted to make the models because they saw, yeah, especially in the 3D printing era, they saw people making teams, making money off of their IP. And they're like, oh, well, they did the thing with the two fingers, like, poking. They're like, well, could we come back and could we, do the thing? Please, could you do that for us, please? Could you give us the money, please? So, yeah, that's the thing.
You guys are entertaining after 9 p.m.
Yeah, well, you got me on my GW hate horse.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you hating GW because I feel like it didn't occur to you until I pointed it out to you.
Well, I actually think there was a golden age, and again, you might have also seen this, Mr. Bourne, in that there was like that period right around when everybody thought GW was going down, right? Because War Machine was on the rise. And people just weren't playing GW games as much anymore because they're a scumbag company. They always have been. They always will be. But they look like they were at their worst around that like 7th and 8th 40K edition. Like I was going.
Are you talking about the end times? Are you talking about the end times where it was like the end of fantasy right before Age of Sigmar?
Yes, it was right around that kind of period of time where 40K wasn't looking so great. Fantasy, they killed it, yada yada, and they were like, whatever the hell Age of Sigmar was at the beginning. And then they came out with that new edition of 40K. I think it was 8th. It was the one where they essentially just were like, all right, all the codexes are gone. Here are these indexes.
Indexes, yep.
And the game was boiled down to so much more of its like base components, and the game was definitely more focused on fun. I thought I was fooled. You see, I had no idea, but in secret another ring was forged. Okay? Because they fooled me because like I was like, wow, this is a really cool like way to play the game. They had just recently got rid of Kirby, who was, a blight on humanity. And so this new
he painted me some adorable, beautiful Harlequin models. Like, I mean, amazing freehand Harlequin models. He painted me so I would play with him.
But I thought that
Harlequin,
it was different.
Harlequin.
Yeah, the Harlequins, yes. The Eldar people.
Not DC Harlequin.
No, well, we did play the Batman minigame for a while. I have painted a few.
Well, that too.
But anyway, I thought they were different. I went back to it and I was like, oh, I really like this edition. It was really fun. And then the codexes started to come out. There was some power distribution issues, and that's because some people had their codexes and some people didn't, yada yada, and it all came out and it was all going really, really well. And I was like, oh, cool, they're doing great. GW's kind of changed. They've learned their lessons. And then all of a sudden, Ninth Edition came out, and then they just threw all that goodwill out into the garbage. They're like, okay, well, here we are again. And since then, there was always a bit of me holding out, where I was like, oh yeah, eventually they'll kind of figure it out. No, GW will never figure it out until the day they die. And it's not worth getting into it again. And thankfully, when it came to Old World, I didn't really have to buy much, right? Because I already had an army. I bought a couple boxes here and there to kind of fill out units, yada yada. But yeah, buying a new army for a GW game, I can't imagine how prohibitively expensive that is nowadays.
But you gotta appreciate what got you into it. You know, nobody really gets into model gaming until they go to a Games Workshop store. It's just reality. It's the foot into the cold.
Okay, we got some people talking here. Yeah, when lower the points. So yeah, the community need to use rules. Yeah, when GW said we are a mini company, not a rules company. Yeah, that was right around then. That was when Kirby left. When Kirby left, they got significantly better very briefly, but then the cogs started turning again. What we really need to talk about besides the devil is Malifaux 4th edition. Who said Malifaux? What about 4th? I was in a chat most of the night with Jesse, and now I'm all on the Malifaux hype. Although now I have to buy Ascensions for Karai, I don't get into my mini games through a GW store. Right. Correct. Yeah, the new edition of Malifaux has come out, sort of.
Don't think about Malifaux 4th edition. Just focus on Pirates this year.
I mean, I already have the Malifaux stuff. I'm gonna play it. I'm just not going to invest in anything new. I mean, I already have it.
I'm just telling the other people who are stressing about Malifaux, like, let's take a break this year. 2025 is for Pirates. We come back to Malifaux because I feel like Pirates might have an off year, and then we'll go back to Malifaux. We'll catch up on Malifaux, and then it'll have an off year, and we'll be like, Pirates.
Didn't you say your main game was like Cyberpunk?
So yeah, we play a lot of Cyberpunk around here. A lot of the stuff we do, we do play quite a bit of stuff around here. But currently, the big ones are. I've kind of taken a break from Infinity just because it was getting a little too competitive for me. And we really enjoy Blood and Plunder. We really enjoy Malifaux here. We really enjoy Cyberpunk. Because Cyberpunk's a very interesting blend of narrative and competitive gaming in one place.
Literally, the only thing I have against Malifaux is the size of their models right now. Because, so, like, Blood and Plunder, they're so small, I don't even worry about their details. But, Malifaux, they're just like an in-between, and I feel like they need more detail that I don't quite have the talent to do.
They're kind of MCP sized, right? Malifaux-ish?
They're heroic.
No,
they're heroic.
Smaller than MCP. Like, I feel comfortable with MCP, but Malifaux intimidates me.
Yeah, MCP, I believe, is technically 32 millimeter scale. And then Shatterpoint is like one scale above that. Yeah, and Malifaux, I don't know, Malifaux can't figure out what they want to do because a lot of their models are like not quite in scale. It's a whole thing. It's fine. It's fine. We don't talk about it.
I don't want to paint contrasts on my Malifaux, so that's also a little bit of a hurdle for me because I'm trying to actually do real paints on my Malifaux model.
Okay, we got people talking. She is literally unplayable without Shishin's solution. Play Zip and you can have Pirates and Malifaux. No. Cyberpunk. Very much this. So just proxy them. Gaming, it's a non-issue. I have enough Malifaux rats. They honestly won't stay on the board long. Peons are back. Oh, peons are back. That's cool. So what I'm hearing is that she is playable, but you just want to complain. The complaint is more that I didn't want to paint them. I hate the models. Oh, there you go. All you have to do is just paint models literally every day. 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. I think there's a song about it.
I mean, paint 69 before April 21st, and you'll be as good as Dr.D.
I'm not sure if I should count this diorama thing as more than one model for Tisdale, because it's technically 3 models and then the diorama thing.
I think it's 4 models. The diorama is 1, and the other 3 models are three models. I think it's 4 models.
4 it is then. What do you think about that, Mr. Bourne? Do you think it should be 4? I know you don't even know what I'm talking about. I need you to answer the question.
Is this a Shattered Point or a Legion diorama?
This is the Legion Gen Con thing they released, where it's the Battle of the Throne.
Where is the diorama? Can you show the diorama on the camera real quick?
Yeah, I'm imagining the Ahsoka versus Vader.
No.
Epicon one, and I know that's not correct.
It's this thing.
It's this. And then Palpatine goes back here. Okay.
Oh.
So it's 3 models.
Okay.
But the diorama is not like
called Strike Me Down.
how much do you need to do for the diorama?
I think it's Strike Me Down. So there's the 3 models, and then the thing itself, and then the duty sentries is what they call these things.
I think these 2 things and the diorama are equal to each model. So I think you have 4 model equivalents to finish.
Yes. That is what I'm going to count it as.
I think that's a good idea.
You're saying the
I
chair
agree.
in the background is 1 model?
Yeah, the
Plus
actual
the side things.
and the duty stations. Yeah, so it's everything but the models.
Everything but the individual models.
It's not like there's any money attached to this. It's mostly just I have a spreadsheet that counts how many models I paint.
Spreadsheet.
Yeah. Locally, we have this thing where you paint a model or whatever. I can show it on the stream actually. You know what? Actually, let's do the whip it out now.
You
That
paint a
I'm
model,
thinking
and then
about.
you're allowed to buy a model, right?
What?
Don't you guys have to finish certain amount of models before you can buy another model?
That's not a part of the rules, no.
Oh, I thought that was part of the rule. But sometimes you have side things like that.
Yeah, that's mostly me and Wilmar just trying to control ourselves.
I would say it's like a motivational group to keep you earning points by completing stuff. Is this through like PNC or just something?
This is just a local Discord thing, so it's the North England super duper meta is what we call it. So yeah, I'll show it on the screen right now. So if you're looking at the stream.
Friend a friend to keep you from spending too much money.
Yeah. Hey, come on, works best for you.
Ooh, I love a good spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Please don't get me hot and bothered this late at night, sweetie.
So the different categories. So there's like for painting it, for basing it, for any kind of freehand you do, any kit bashing, the size of it, and then terrain. So these are all like the locals that are like involved in this, and so I've categorized them just based on things I've painted. So like as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 of these models aren't even mine. It's just stuff I've done for other people. Also, Legion just dropped Palpatine and his guard is useful. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. Well, GW is okay. Yeah, we'll go into that in a second. But yeah, as you can see, you get a certain amount of points. So like for European sailors, I've painted 2 of them. Yada yada. Some of them I've done some freehand on. Some of them I haven't. Done a little bit of kit bashing. And yeah, I think it's a really cool way. Because it made me realize. Because I thought for the longest time I was a very slow painter. And with the amount of stuff I was painting, I never saw my piles getting any smaller. And I think that quantifying it on a piece of paper like this did a really good job of illustrating that I am buying as much as I am painting, and that's why the piles never feel like they're going down. So, it's like kind of like you look at it through the lens of like a monetary budget, right? Where if you can see what's going out, what's going in.
Perspective, I would say, like you're getting a different perspective because you're also seeing how much other people are painting and realizing that maybe they're painting less than you are.
Correct. And so actually, and then there's a totals thing here which I asked for, which shows all of the models that have been painted by the people in the local community. Which I don't know if this counts as doxing or whatever, but whatever, I don't care at this point. And as you can see, I've painted 71, and Painting Jay, who is he comes into the stream quite a bit, he's painted 93 models since the beginning of the year, which is insane. And so I realize it's like, okay, when I've painted 71 models, and again, this includes stuff like the ship and like big stuff. And then it. And I'm not gonna despair anybody on here, but it put it into perspective in that after I've painted 71 models, some people have only painted 10. You know what I mean? And it was a very good humanizing reminder that
Dr.D stand for doxing.
A 3-day weekend does help. Yeah, and the streaming 100% does help. And we're about to show off all the stuff in Whip. So if you have anything in Whip you want to show off, I love that Rosie. The Rosie's cool. Yeah, put it in there, and we'll take a look at it. And Mr. Brendan is painting the Wrecking Crew.
Whip at 10? Whipping at 10 or whipping now?
Right now.
Oh, man.
Working on Pile Driver at the moment. He's the one cracking his knuckles.
I think these look really good.
Thank you. Like, I'm trying to push myself. There's a couple events next month that we're doing. There's some hobby awards, and I'm not treating it necessarily like Path of the Worthy level, but I'm trying to push that contrast, like as I say.
100%. Who is this character? I think this guy's name is. I think this is the guy with the crowbar is named Wrecker, isn't he?
No, I meant who painted it.
Oh, that's Brendan.
Brendan?
Yeah.
The crowbar is the Wrecker. Oh gosh, the orange guy is Bulldozer.
Sure.
And then there's a yellow and green guy. His name's Thunderball. And then Pile Driver just punches you with his fist.
Like any man should. Yeah, these are good. Yeah, the contrast on these is really good, especially like around the muscles. It looks really good.
Thank you. I'm not going to blend it all the way up to white because I hate that look, and it seems to be everywhere that everyone has to blend all the way up to white. But you do have to lighten it up just a little.
So you like a more saturated coloring to it.
I like more saturated. This is like my Wrecker here, this green. That's probably the most desaturated I would go. Like, I'm not going to keep going up to where you can't see the green anymore. He's not like his shirt. It should look. It should come across as green, not as like a shiny metal, which is what a lot of people do right now that I see that I follow.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I think it looks amazing. I really like the shades of the green and the purple. I think they're really nice.
Thank you. I actually started by doing it speed painted, and then I just blended on top of the speed paint after it was completely dry.
Do you zenithal it?
I did.
That's a really good plan because I do a lot of speed painting too, but then I kind of have to go back and touch it up or layer it with another speed paint just to make it look like what I was imagining.
I like the speed paint, so it's doing the base coat. It's like, okay, so I grew up doing the Games Workshop way to paint, which is base coat, wash, and then highlight. This, in particular, is kind of doing the base and the wash as one with the speed paints, but then not just highlighting it, but actually blending on top of it. But I really like how you don't the green did not take me that long because I just avoided the cracks, and so they maintained the dark green from the speed paint, but then I could blend it up the highlighted parts. So.
I think it looks amazing. I would have never guessed you were using speed paints or contrast on this. Like, I would have thought you were
Awesome.
totally using like layering paints.
Okay, couple things in chat. Mr. Pizza says Malifaux sits you down and tells you, "Listen, man, you're a bad painter, but you're gonna learn how to paint a shoelace now, and then you level up as a painter." So count as 3 models in a diorama. While GW allows you to be in the comfy zone where details are the size of a truck, that's very true. If you had done the luminescent blades, it might look cool to have the color faintly on Palpatine. That was something that I had talked to Tisdale about. Cord, he said don't do that. So he asked me not to do that much glow. Going from weird to GW painting, you think you have a magnifying glass attached to your eyes. It's like training montage worthy of XP. Also, Legion just dropped Palpatine and his guards as playable. Dr. Doc's at it again. Dr.D standing for doxing. Yeah, they look good. They look good. Good job. Good job, Mr. Brennan.
Thank you. Two more to do.
And then Mike has been gluing his cannons together for his ship, for Blood and Plunder, and he carved out the barrel. He did drill out the barrel because he's a smart guy.
Yeah, I mean it's like a GW staple. Like it's such a bad habit. Like that's the first thing I did when I was working on my ship was drill out the barrels of the light cannons.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anybody that uses like guns and stuff where the barrel is the size of your fist, it's like, why don't you just paint it black? Even if you won't drill it out, just paint a little black circle. Anything.
Air. Dr. Drive.
Air, Doctor. Yeah, but Jay isn't in here right now. That's true. Yes, Mr. Chef Tig, there are a few people in our vicinity that do play Rumble Slam. Like our buddy Keith, he just finished the John Cena Chameleon guy. It's potentially possible that I might try. Like I would buy a single group for Rumble Slam, but it's nowhere near.
Oh, Andrew plays that. Mm-hmm.
It's nowhere near the top of the list right now. Anyway, yep. So cannon's getting made. This is I'm assuming this is Steph's Man Thing and Else. It's not okay. It's just Man Thing.
I haven't started Elsa yet.
Deb just came back. Were you checking the kids in?
I don't think Keith is playing the game, Josh. I know it's niche, but it's fun. It looks like a game that is purely made for fun. I'm assuming that this Man Thing was speed painted for the majority of at least the greens.
Yep, he's still drying.
This is her first time messing around with speed paint.
Why did you skip the cheese hat mini? Give people the cheese hat blessing. Please, I need the cheese. Give me that cheddar. This wasn't Gouda. I seek the parmesan.
I didn't skip it. I just haven't got to it yet.
I love my speed paints. The speed paints eat away plastic. Have you noticed that, Steph?
I did not know that.
So I've noticed that it's eating away like the inside of the caps of my speed paints, and then like it kind of is making like funny pots in my little like squirt pot container. I like the speed paints a little bit better than the original contrast paints, but I think the second version of contrast paints from GW were really solid.
But yeah, this is a very solid beginning of Swamp Thing. I'm assuming you're gonna do the thing Brennan's doing, or you're just gonna work it up from here.
Yep.
I think it's gonna look good.
Just gotta let him dry.
Yeah, Man Thing is a box I do think I want to get for MCP because I would like to play the Midnight Suns, and I think Elsa is such a cool character in Marvel.
She's got a lot of powers. I didn't realize, like, we were just looking her up the other day. She's not just a hunter with guns, but she's got like a shard of the Bloodstone, which gives her a lot of powers. Like she's stronger than a human. She's immune to vampire bites.
Yep.
And a lot of mystic things. They don't talk about that much in the MCU Werewolf by Night thing.
Yeah, don't get me started on MCU. They've really been kind of dropping the ball lately. But yeah, that looks good. And then Rosie, this is the one that the daughter's painting, I assume. Man, gold-plated Uzis. So is she gonna try and do the tattoos on the thigh?
He's talked about it.
Okay.
She's gonna do what? Polka dots
She's
or
doing
sprinkles for the booty shorts?
sprinkles on there.
Yeah, I mean, Steph, as a lady, when I see this model, I can only think those booty shorts look like they're riding awfully high.
They
That
are.
looks-
That's why I didn't take a picture of the backs of the model.
That looks mighty uncomfortable. It looks like she's gonna chafe on the inside of the thigh there.
Right.
A little bit.
She's gonna lose blood to her feet.
Depending on her shape, it might hit just right where it like grabs her and is in the exact right spot. But it depends on her body shape.
I
But
think.
her booty is half out.
Yeah, I was just about to say, based on her comment from just a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago, that's not the case. Yeah, it looks good though. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what she can do. Yeah, it'd be cool if she could try to do a tattoo thing. All right, then we got a cheesehead.
I think the skin looks really good for somebody that young.
It is the Adepticod. It is a fish with a thing on its head. It looks like it's made for Blood Bowl or something. Like, what is this made for?
Conquest.
Yeah, okay, so it is made for Conquest. Is it supposed to be like a unit attachment?
Okay, so the Conquest, and I don't play Conquest, but my client, I paint Conquest. What I know is that they come out with chibi-looking versions of the characters as promos.
There might have been. There might have been, Jay. I think there was something to do with Blood Bowl. Yeah, somebody was talking about Rumble Slam in the chat, Jay. I'm not entirely sure who it is in person, so I can't dox him. But it was Chief Tig. He was asking about Rumble Slam. Yeah, this looks really good. I love that blue. The blue is sweet. It's who's painting the Adepticod?
What's that?
So who's painting the Adepticod? Is this you, Steph, or is this... That's you, okay.
Yeah. I just put a bunch of speed paint on him, so he's drying currently too.
Oh, you guys are working together as a team. That's not fair. How many
You guys
models...
don't paint together?
Well, she usually sits there and talks to me about...
We totally paint our own models. I mean, he paints like 69 before February 31st. I can only paint like 3.
Same.
And then, she usually just sits there, stares at her boat, tells me about what Halsey's doing or something.
True, I do talk about music a lot.
And then she goes away, and then she walks back and forth over and over again. And says, I should paint this.
Ball, and then I have a gin, and then I come back and I sit down and I don't paint.
I love Halsey.
Halsey is the best. Do you want to go see her concert? She's coming in like August or something, and Dylan doesn't want to go.
I would love to if I lived closer to you.
That far?
We saw her in Indy in like 2018. I think it was.
It was right before Bad at Love came out.
Yeah.
So, like, we went to the concert and then came home, and then she was on the radio every day.
That was like
So big.
Steve Fuller
Yeah.
guy from 85 Bears.
2018, she was huge.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Jay.
That's a good show.
So it looks like a football with spikes that attaches stick and some rubber shit. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It does feel like
2018, my kid was 11, so I wasn't going to see shows.
Pizza! Get to painting. An entire month without painting? What the heck is wrong with you? What are the neighbors gonna think? They're gonna be like, that boy ain't right. Or, well, where you're from. Or where you're living right now. Oi, laddie! You over here with your painting your models with a haggis.
We're gonna have to send a voodoo witch after him. Get him to paint.
And also, Pizza has a very strong opinion about Blood and Plunder models, Mr. Brennan. He says that if they're not wearing... What is it? What's your thing, Pizza? That they have to be wearing, like, no shoes or whatever? I know it's like
Okay.
it's like pantaloon. They gotta have pantaloons, but they can't be wearing shoes or something.
I think half of the
I
starter
asked
set models don't have.
Dylan. I told Dylan I wanted 8 models with no shoes or socks, and he said that might be difficult.
It's not. It's legitimately not what I said, but sure. All right, what do we got here? I read that real quick. Thought it said Whoopee month. In my defense, it played in my favor. I sold my Jedza 2 and my Kirk. Oh, that's good. Thanks to them still being on the sprue. Procrastination for the win. If they are not wearing pantaloons and they don't feel the sea breeze in their calves. Yeah, so they got to be wearing pantaloons but no like socks or shoes. Then what's even the point if they're wearing pantaloons and they can't feel the sea breeze on their calves? I think 3-6 have no shoes on in the base. Yes, that is correct. I think I have enough extra sailor models that it shouldn't be too hard to accommodate whatever Karen wants.
Did you guys find those to be a pain to assemble because of the instructions?
The instructions were a little weird. The boat instructions were, thankfully, being an experienced builder, I kind of figured it out. But the main mast Bermuda sloop cross mast, I forget what they call that.
Yeah, the topsail thing.
The topsail mast, yeah, that was not very well orientated in that picture. It was excessively confusing.
Yeah.
It is not a it was not a great thing to try and have to figure out, but I did eventually figure it out, thankfully, with some videos and some real world experience. And yeah, I feel like the models, some of the parts to it are like they essentially beg you to cut things, because especially the wrists are legitimately awful.
Yeah, I think it was like certain configurations of arms to do certain weapons didn't make sense with how they were numbered or laid out.
Yes. Yeah, they were. You could tell it was like not something they've done a million times before. Just put it that way.
Right.
So they were fine. If I had a choice between the plastic kits or their resin pre-printed ones, I would pick the pre-printed ones every day. But you can't really do that for pirates because there's no kits. So supposedly that is changing here relatively soon because there will be roundsmen coming out that are actually like official, like pre-sculpted things.
Roundsmen are so much more expensive than pirates, though.
They are.
But can you use them as pirates?
I mean, you could in this game you could technically use any model as anything because I doubt most people even realize what the hell they are. And unfortunately, I do think that historical games in general, and I'm sure, Brendan, you have some experience in this regard, where most of the time the paint jobs for games like these are not, they're not excessively complicated.
That's a nice way of putting that.
Mm-hmm. You put a lot of effort into your thing, and it definitely shows, right? So, you know, you have like that really cool theme, and I'm sure you probably got a lot of eyeballs.
Once I saw that, I was like, 2 colors.
Yeah. However, I would say, because I know you want to go for best painted boat or best painted force, definitely stick with historical things, because
yes,
like, people liked the funny, wacky things I was doing, but you can tell it's evident that they prefer historical looking stuff, and they appreciate that a little bit more than fantasy crazy colors.
For the record, Mr. Brennan, most of the time I have done everything I can to defeat the inner part of me that wants to get best painted. I just do the best I can, and sometimes I win it.
Yeah.
That's how I try and look at it, because otherwise I'll go effing crazy. So the last time I tried to get best painted, I lost, and I learned a valuable lesson.
Which was?
It's not worth being alive anymore. And then I was like, this is probably not a good way to take this. So, you know, I was like, I'm just kidding. I felt pretty bad about it. I put a lot of effort into it. It was for Infinity. And I was like, okay, I won Best Painted to this specific award. Let me see if I can win it every year. You know, that'll be like my thing. And I won the first year. I did not win the second year with an army that I essentially pulled all out, and I was like, I really want to do this. And I spent a lot of sleepless nights working on it, and I put a lot of work into it, and I did not win. And I felt bad, and I was like, this is fine. The guy that won it, it was like, he is an amazing painter. He's an absolutely great painter, and I did not feel bad that he was the one that won it for sure. You know, because I'm sure you've been in those situations where you've painted something, put a lot of work into it, you walk away, and you're like, that wasn't the one that should have beat me.
Okay, that's not what I had at Adepticon. I got second best painted to that flute with the oil wash on the wood and stuff, and like in the split second when I learned that I didn't get best painted, I was kind of like, what? But I have freehand like all over my boat and stuff. But then I'm like, okay, let me actually take a look at what it was. And so I went over, I met him, checked out his boat, and sort of flipped my mentality, right? Because I could have just sat there and just been like, oh, but I didn't get best painted. But like I wanted to turn it into a positive. So I went and chatted with him, and I guess I just wanted to pass along, like, because I know you want to go for it. I would definitely keep it in a very historical minded aesthetic, because that's going to kind of win them over better, I think.
I think you're right. The good news is that I am very historically minded anyway, so that probably wouldn't have been something I deviated from anyway. But I do appreciate the warning.
For anyone out there that wants to beat you, you're the best painted.
So, good night, Josh. I'm getting back into Magic the Gathering. Pizza, don't do it, please. Heading a bit. If you need to paint some Spanish dudes, I can send you some of my pictures for inspiration. I am a historically accurate Spanish. It's true. Pizza, you are Spanish, so I hear. You have a legitimate Spaniard talking to you right now, Mr. Brennan. How do you feel about it? You'll never believe where he lives.
Where?
Not Spain. He's a traitor. Well, Mr. Brennan, I would say when I saw your painted boat, I thought to myself, like, yeah, there's no way I could paint better than that.
What? I don't believe that.
When it comes to that amount of work, yeah, no, trust me, it was the first thought I had. I was like, there's no way.
I mean, I didn't put 100 hours into it.
I just thought the theme was so on brand.
It just looked so good. You could have put 20 hours into it, but it was amazing.
Yeah. It was definitely one of my favorite things seeing at the con, for sure.
Well, but okay, so you went to Armies on Parade and
yeah.
saw a Marvel board.
Okay, so
like 2 seconds.
I'm glad we got.
I want to hear about that.
So we got into this. Yeah. So I don't know what that's very true, Pizza. You are a riddle. A Ridaldo is probably how you say it.
Dr. Humble, Dr. Glaze.
Yes. I didn't know what the hell was happening with the Armies on Parade thing. Like, there was a line, and then some people were saying that there was a community vote, but I couldn't find the community vote. Every time I talked to anybody, they were like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. There was no instructions or anything anywhere. I had no idea what the hell was happening. Was I the only one?
Oh my god, you need me to go with you so I can manage this for you.
So, was there a community vote?
Yeah.
Okay, there was. Where?
Where you got your paper to fill out, we have no idea.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say, there was no paper.
Some people had one, and a lot of people couldn't figure out where to get them.
Okay, so I'm glad it... Oh, I'm not glad it wasn't just me. I'm glad I wasn't that stupid. So, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, anyway, what did I see? I thought there was a lot of things there that you... I think quality of painting-wise, yours was definitely on the upper end. I think that there was a lot of them that... And this might just be due to the orientation of 40K stuff. Kind of like you're saying, right? Where if you're painting stuff for a historical game, you need it to be historically minded. When it comes to 40K displays, it's like, make it really, really friggin' big. Make it so insanely big that it takes up an insane amount of space, and just have millions of models in it that aren't painted like amazingly. I can't eat right now.
You want me to put this in the freezer?
Yeah, put it. Yeah, I might eat it later. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah, I think your guys' paint jobs
Huge displays.
was really phenomenal, but I think that when you put it next to one of the things that they paint in 40K, and mind you, I didn't have a lot of time to look at any of it because the line was like it's not very well thought out. But when you put it up against like something that has like literally 1,000 models on it,
Right.
like what is the painting criteria?
Right. So this format changed last year. There were small skirmish games, and we were going, "What the heck? This doesn't feel fair." Like there was no chance for one of the small games to podium in the showcase.
Mhm.
They changed the format and they added best skirmish game, and each of the judges got to pick one to highlight.
Sure.
So we got our hopes up too high because we thought we had a good chance at one of those, and we had a good chance, but we weren't chosen for that. And we kind of had to learn that lesson of like, well, actually, at high levels of art judging competition, it's all subjective.
And that's essentially what that's the lesson I learned with the Infinity thing. It was yeah, I can put a lot of work into this. I can lose sleep. I can work really hard, and it might not matter at all because the guy that voted for my thing didn't sleep 8 hours the night before. It's like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah. Like Duncan, who's taught us all how to play or how to paint in the '90s for Games Workshop. His award that he gave away was not to a Games Workshop game. It was because he liked ranked up troops with shields.
Yeah,
and that's what he picked.
Yep. So you just have to deal with the subjective component of it, and that's why. I don't know. That's why I don't really like doing the painting contests like the Worthy and stuff, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to put a lot of effort into this thing, and I'm not going to get it because Dallas likes Spider-Man more than he likes Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? It's like...
Well, you remember I was like sweating over this Juggernaut
You were.
thing, and I reached out to you, and I couldn't sleep for a week
And
to finish him up.
And you got a bronze! That's so good!
And that's what I was originally shooting for, and I'm super happy with that. But like, my head got too big for itself. I'm like, well, what if I do this? Could I make it a gold? What if I do this? Could I win this thing?
And that's exactly where I think the most difficult part of this hobby is in regards to the painting stuff. Is like, where is the line of, oh, I can do better because I put more effort into it, and then the other side of that same coin is, oh, Dallas likes Spider-Man more than he likes Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And so that's why I say, yeah, do the thing. If you enjoy doing the thing, great. But if you didn't enjoy the thing and you lost, it feels even worse. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like playing the team event and playing it for not to beat people and not caring, if we go 2 and 3.
So,
yeah.
In my opinion, I 100% of the time would rather get Best Painted Team Award or Best Painted Team for a roster or whatever for an event I went to. I would 100% prefer that to any painting contest.
Yep.
Because to me, that's where the real hobby is. It's that culmination of the 3 and 4 different factors of like what a war game is put together.
Yep.
That's
why we compete like we do with our pamphlets and soundtracks and T-shirts.
Yeah, because you go after all the senses.
Yeah.
Because humans have, 4 or 5 senses, depending on who you ask. And if you can hit all of them with something at least somewhat decent, you definitely got a way better chance. Next, you just got to, figure out what Hulk's breath smells like, and then just, really huff it into somebody's mouth as they're looking at your models.
We're doing Guardians of the Galaxy, so we could do, what, Drax's turds, or...
Raccoon. Get wet raccoon. So you're going to have to do some research, Steph. Leave some garbage on your...
I am taking notes. In order to get first place in every game, you need to paint Spider-Man wearing a Space Marine costume. Correct?
That is correct. I'm assuming that was Wilmar. Nope, that was pizza. Yes, pizza, you are correct. We had a guy in Spain working in a hobby store early 90s, 2000s that claimed he won a Golden Demon pre-internet days and even had a plaque in the store next to the mini he won the alleged Golden Demon. Well, it turns out it was a fake thing, and when people started using the internet, he literally said, well, I could have won it if I had presented, and then refused to elaborate any further. Funniest thing now is he works at a GW store where people can still call him the Golden Demon as a joke. Well, isn't that nice? Isn't that just nice?
Isn't that neat?
That's pretty neat.
I'm gonna say goodnight. I'm gonna sleep, you guys.
Kara is
They tell
currently
us-
falling asleep on the wall.
They tell us at the Army Showcase that they definitely don't have a bias towards Games Workshop models,
So what won?
but the same. Or are you talking about for
Army's on-
overall? Or are you
yeah,
talking
who
about for
won-
skirmish?
Who won overall for Armies on Parade?
AOS.
Was it that giant thing at the very entrance thing?
Yes.
It's the same thing that was there last year. It was literally the same pieces.
It's the same.
It's the same people.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's what the hell is that thing? It's just big. Not to say that it's not
Yeah.
well done. It's just really
Sorry, but
big.
I'm not renting a U-Haul
Yeah.
to take our display
Right.
board to another common.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's an idea that I had. What if? Okay, so like a banner for a trade show or something where it's like a canvas signage and you pull it up and it's on telescoping bar to have like a 6 foot tall banner or something.
Mhm.
Maybe do something like that as a backdrop of what we do, so that way it draws all those eyes.
Ooh, you know what I could do?
It's a decent
Do you
idea.
know what I'm talking about?
Poke
Yeah.
little holes in the banner and have twinkle lights
Yeah.
around the banner like it's super bright stars in the galaxy.
Because we need some huge ass thing that's
Yeah.
clear to us looking at all the other things at Armies on Parade. Our little board versus this huge thing. I'm like, okay, so how can we do that without having to bring a huge piece of terrain in a U-Haul? Okay, how about we do banners?
It's a well-known
or
thing
something
that
to make ourselves
GW
look
gets
bigger.
the attention.
Dr.
I spoke
D,
with Marco
what do you think
Frisoni,
about
and he
that?
said in order to get views, sometimes you gotta pull the GW keychain and jiggle it a bit, and then you get WAAY more views.
So Mr. Pizza is saying it's a well-known thing that GW gets the attention. I spoke with Marco Frisoni, and he said in order to get views, sometimes you got to pull the GW chain and jiggle it a bit, and you get way more views. Sure. Which is, again, it's one of those things where that's where my own personal hang-ups of doing stuff like that kind of competition. I'm just like, I just don't want to do it. Because I know that I'm going to put a lot of effort in. I'm going to get frustrated because some guy was like, oh, big. I like big. And then, the judge is like, oh my god, do you see how big it is? Do you see it? Did you see it? And then I'm like, what is wrong with your voice? And I have a speech impediment. And then, then you got to get involved with that all stuff. And then you get restraining orders, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, sum it all up. I thought your display boards were amazing. I really dug Steph's magic thing, the magic display thing. I thought that was super neat, especially since you tried to pull in Limbo. Because that was specifically for Worthy, right?
Yeah.
Right. Did you place with that?
No.
So, now, Steph, I know you do this for the love of the hobby, right? So I feel like you're a good person to ask. Were you frustrated that you didn't place?
No. I
Okay.
didn't expect to because I haven't been painting long enough and I just wanted to get feedback from somebody other than my husband.
Sure. But your husband is a worthy bronze placer.
Oh, ho, ho.
Now he is.
See, that complicates things. And then when you ask him for credit, you just be like, hey, can you give me bronze level advice?
Yeah, so I need to come back and try to get a silver next year.
See,
and
there you
then
go.
Come back and try to get a gold, but
Then you got to do it 3 times in a row. It's one of those things. You got to move that goalpost over and over again. You can never just be happy where you are. So Mr. Pizza, the thing about this model he's painting right now, I don't know, man. It's not Space Marine-y enough, my dude. Well, it's so a few things, Pizza. One, it's not for me. Two, Star Wars is boring, right? So let me get that out of the way. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Most of Star Wars is boring.
Can't be friends.
What else?
Sean.
On the non-believers.
Oh no, they're not gonna let me into their smelly hotels no more. Oh no. Oh, this is such a shame. What am I gonna do? I mean, let's face it, guys. The Star Wars hotels, their cuck chairs aren't even that nice. I mean, come on. I guess you guys haven't been around enough for the joke, for the cuck chair joke. Is that a new one? Is that a new one to you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not familiar.
You know how in hotels there's always like that chair that's like sitting by the window?
Okay.
In your room, yeah.
That you put your luggage on?
Yeah, that's what it's for. It's for the luggage. The emotional
Maybe it
baggage.
just fits in that chair.
Well,
Oh, well, except for
the cuck. So it's called the cuck chair.
Cuck chair. What about the cuck chair?
They didn't know what the cuck chair was.
They didn't know what the cuck chair.
Yeah, see, she's incredulous right now.
I'm not sure Stephanie knows what a cuck is.
This is going over my head.
Yep. See, I felt
I
that.
approve of the cuck chair joke.
I approve of the cuck chair joke. I had a giggle. Thank you, Pizza. You know what, Steph? I'll let you do your own independent research on it, okay? I won't even shatter your
I am not
reality.
Googling it because I'm afraid.
You should be very, very afraid.
It's not a big deal. I'll tell you.
I don't want that in my Google history.
It won't put you on a list. I'll just put it that way.
Okay, does Steph know what a cuck is?
We were just discussing. I don't think she knows what that is.
Okay, maybe you should Google a cuck
No.
before
No,
you
no,
Google
no.
the cuck
We're
chair.
gonna talk about something else.
It's gonna appear in chat or something.
Harris
She
trying to
might
tell me
know.
from
She
afar,
might wanna know.
and I
She
can't
might not
hear
be
it.
that kind of wife.
Yeah, I don't know why she. Yeah, she's winding down. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I need to do the same.
You guys can leave whenever you like. I obviously stay up a little bit later because I'm lonely, and I need the affection. This is when I get to hang out with Pizza because he lives over in Scotland.
Are they 9 o'clock or 10?
It should be 9 where you guys are, right?
Yeah, and well, it's 10 o'clock here.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock where I am too. Are you? I thought Midwest was hour behind. I guess Indiana's close enough.
Indiana is on Eastern time, except for like one small corner up by Chicago.
Ah, I didn't know that. Because I grew up in Missouri for a long time, and my parents are still there, so I always gotta think about that.
That is on Central time, yes.
Yes. Well, you know what? It's good to be in the same time zone as you guys. It feels good.
I know.
All right, Tisdale, you're not here anymore, but how does this model look to you? If it looks, if you don't say anything, I'm gonna throw it off into a ravine. You have 5 seconds. That's a shame. No response. Do you guys have any good ravines around you that you want to throw this model into?
Not
Are you
really.
trying to change the subject because you were talking about me while I was outside?
No. Yeah, I will say this strike me down diorama thing is literally just painting black. The exercise. Everything in Star Wars is black.
You gonna do a lot of dry brushing on it?
That's why
No.
I said he needed purple eyes.
So this is gonna be. There's a certain level of like effort I can put into this before I fall asleep in my chair.
But sugar. Do you want some?
Is that
ice
for
cream?
me?
That's for you, and
Okay.
I had ice cream there for you too, but I put it in the
Can't
freezer
eat
because you
during
were
a
busy.
stream.
I mean, you could.
Nobody
Does
wants to
doing-
listen to me chew on a stream.
It's just
Does
chocolate
doing
chip
OSL
cookies and ice cream.
lightsabers
It's not that much
not
chewing, it's mostly
make-
swallowing.
doing?
Star Wars models more exciting for you?
No, I find lightsaber stuff to be a little bit. It's just overdone, I think. What? This is how you get the Gabagooey. Is that what that is? Add some seals and shoulder pads, bro. Are you afraid of success? The thing about his model, he's been blah blah blah. We barely want to look at him. That's why he has that tiny face cam. Jeez. He's my official carer. I don't know what's going on.
When we let women wear shoulder pads unencumbered, they will take over the world. Just saying. Unencumbered, not encumbered.
No. I think you got it.
Shut up.
I think you were right. Definitely unencumbered. Are you going to bed?
Soon.
Okay, I thought you said you were going to bed.
Soon.
Okay.
I have to finish this bowl. I finished my drink.
I think Stephanie's about to go to bed, which means I might also be going to bed.
That is A-okay. Thank you very much for hanging out with me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Thank
anybody...
you for coming to check out our display at Adepticon. That
Yes.
was a cool moment.
It was very good. I thought you guys should definitely be proud of yourself. You guys did a lot of work, and it showed.
Well, there's just so many people that pass by, and you see them for like 5 seconds, and it was nice to
If
actually
it's
chat
not
with you a
8
little bit
feet
tonight.
tall and shouting for the Emperor, I'm not interested.
Pizza,
John
shut up!
James Workshop.
Nobody cares. Yes. I was just about to say, make sure you guys go to their multiple sources of content now. They have a YouTube channel. Born Minis, right? Is the YouTube channel?
Yep.
Born Minis and Instagram. That's where I live if you want to chat.
So the Instagram is where they show off a lot of the stuff that's painted. I know the YouTube thing started originally as a Marvel United thing, but you guys have been doing other stuff on there now.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna be doing battle report stuff? I think you already had one.
We've started streaming.
That's what it is.
Like doing Marvel Crisis Protocol against each other.
Okay.
We have a very irregular rotation of playing MCP on Twitch and then talking about and doing hobby streaming.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, Born Miniatures, multiple sources, YouTube, they just put it in there. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Blue Sky. A lot of really good stuff. You guys do Twitch every once in a while. That doesn't seem to be like a scheduled night for it.
Yeah, we haven't quite figured out our schedule yet with kid stuff going on, but we're trying to get in a routine.
Yes.
It's just been...
It will be more regular. We just don't know exactly what that looks like yet.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, but it's good stuff. They definitely have the Dr.D seal of approval. So if you guys are interested in any of that kind of stuff, I definitely highly recommend you follow them. I've always try and get on people's streams, but then like a lot of the times it's like right around the time I'm eating dinner, and then by the time I'm done, they're either wrapping up or they are done. So I'll be there if I can be. But
I really appreciated being sort of my mentor through Path of the Worthy and making sure I didn't have any mental breakdowns with my Juggernaut. So.
Yes, their stuff is... Yes. Yes. They are consummate hobby. I think Kara's trying to say that you guys are the whole package of the hobby that I've always been a big fan of trying to promote, I guess. Because it's not just the painting, it's also some gaming, but it's not just the gaming. The stuff is well painted.
Yeah, you won't probably get like a high strategy kind of conversation out of us, but maybe a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of strategy.
A little bit of strategy.
Sure.
We're not meta chasers.
Yeah.
Correct.
More hobby and theme and learning games and rules.
I think the fancy word for it is mid-table warrior. I'm sorry, Steph, go ahead.
I like to figure out a good squad that I can splash venom into.
He keeps falling further and further behind with all the stuff that's been coming out, which is a shame.
But he's so good.
If you like counterattacks, yes, he's very good.
That's how she plays.
That's how. Oh, you.
Play Venom and Gwenum.
Yeah, there you go. Big fan.
Dylan, will you coach me through my worthy
All
and
right,
golden
Dr. D,
demon entries for
you
next
have a
year?
Good night. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much for coming on. It was an absolute blast to get to
Bye.
talk with you guys.
Thank you.
You as well. Have a good night.
You too. Good night.
Bye.
Dylan, will you coach me through my worthy and golden demon entries for next year? I don't know. How much money you got? I would definitely be coached by somebody who has never won either one of those things.
Lords are the best.
Oh my god, so many messages. Alright. It's just us, guys. Tell me. Tell me what you think. Just tell me.
You're hot.
No.
So sexy, Dr.D.
I don't believe anybody. Alright, so we're gonna paint his skin purple.
Do you know why you're sexy? Because you rigged an entire boat with sails today, Dr.D.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That makes me hot and bothered as a pirate girl. Makes my pirate corset just tighten up on my chest.
I don't know. I don't know, Omar. Pizza says he can coach you, but I require a kilo of cheddar. Holy crap.
Kilo of cheddar. I didn't know cheddar was measured in kilos.
Well, he's from Spainland.
Okay. That makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. It should be measured in liquid. I need kiloliters of cheese.
It's a solid, though.
Not
Or at least
not where he's from. Not after he's done with it. You see, Pizza's body is peak efficiency of turning cheese into diarrhea.
You're dirty, Dr. D. I think you're insinuating very dirty things.
That he poops a lot?
That you think he jizzes in the cheese.
That's not what I said.
That's totally what you said.
Okay. Time for John Malifaux enjoyer. Spainland. 4th edition's looking good. Got the cards for my cruise, and I'm ready to lose all my games. Yeah. What guild ones did they put out? I had some idea of what was coming, but I don't know if because I heard they changed plans maybe a tiny bit.
You keep my shits away from her mouth, sir.
I know, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I can't control her. That's between you and her and God, okay, not me. I got nothing. I got nothing I can do for you, Pizza.
I like hearing about your relationship with Ernie. It seems...
My relationship with what?
With Ernie. It seems like... different than all your other relationships.
Okay.
I think you appreciate or respect Ernie more.
I don't know about that. I mean, I respect them. I respect everybody up to the point I think they deserve it.
Fair enough.
I think Ernie's tendency to talk more than he plays hurts his credibility in some ways.
Fair enough. You would know more than I do. You have more interaction.
But that's the funny thing, I don't. Because he doesn't show up to things. But yes, I get your point. Elite, Journalist, and Marshall. Okay, sweet. Elite is Lucius, right? The new edition seems cool, not gonna lie, but I'm not a super big fan of many things, but I'm excited. Did what cruise came out that you're gonna play, Pizza? Nekoma came out okay. I'm a super big fan of many things. She seems good. Is she still the like summon engine that she was before? Yeah, they haven't released Zoraida yet. They didn't. So Nekoma 2 is Nekoma 1 is called Nekoma Pit Fighter, so that gives you an idea. So it's kind of similar to what she was before. Yeah, instead of corpse markers, you care about the engorged condition, okay? I'll have to give it a read. Like I said, I thought Nekoma 2 was one of the stupidest things they've ever made. And whoever wrote the rules for that last edition should feel bad, because it was bad. And not balanced in the slightest. If there's one thing I really want out of this new edition is I just don't want to watch the combo machine. I just don't want to. You'd be happy to learn that corrupted hounds are awful now. I don't want them to be awful. I don't want anything to be awful. I don't want to watch the combo engine. I'm so sick and tired of it. Especially after a competitive event. Holy crap. It's just not great.
Why is it only Monday? Why
What?
can't it be Friday? I want it to be Friday. I don't want it to be Monday today.
But Friday just happened.
I feel like I've given a whole week's worth of work today already. Well, you can laugh because you didn't go to work today. You only gave blood today and painted and played some pirates.
No, I'm laughing, and then it's just Monday. Isn't that what they always do on Monday? They murdered the mysterious emissary. That was one of the few. I don't know. It's one of those.
Keep trying to crawl out of the cat turd meta and refuse to learn.
I know. I understand, Wilmar.
Is Wilmar giving you a hard time, babe? Why is Wilmar giving you a hard time?
It's part of the bit, I guess.
Is he the nighttime producer now?
Yeah, Mike's not here, is he?
Yeah, he's not. Why isn't he here? It's like totally time for Mike to be here.
He said him and his coworkers were gonna go play Magic at the store today.
Fucking Mike.
You could say Mike was my old best friend. Wilmar, you're my new best friend. That's why Kara can't go to bed. No more night. Yeah, no night mod. Oh, is that what it is? Because I expect to have to pick Kara up off the floor here in a second. She's way past. She's gonna turn into a pumpkin. The rules of this chat are Dr. D needs to get abuse from us, but also love. You see, it's true.
Okay,
When does the love start?
I just like PM'd Mike on Discord and said, "Bro, where are you? I miss you on the stream. Heart hand emoji, like making it with a hand.
That'll get him.
Hope you're getting laid. Peace sign. Think he'll respond?
Probably.
Unless he's getting laid, in which case he might be paying attention to that girl. Which I would totally support.
That's why the rules of this channel. New best friend, new host. I think how you move the brush is kind of cool. There you go. Complimented. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Who said that?
That was Pizza.
That was sweet of you, Pizza. Are you trying to get in his pants? He said, baby. he gonna take care of you, Dr.
You push pigment pretty okay.
Thanks, Omar. I appreciate that. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. What is this thing on the Emperor's neck? He's got like this like little electronic screen thing.
It's his legal ex-skin.
What is that?
That's what makes the lightning.
Do you see that thing underneath his chin? It's not a hickey. What the heck is that? Do you see that? That thing right there. It's like a little control panel. I don't ever remember seeing. Yeah, what the hell is that? Whatever it is, it's painted a silver color. Hmm.
It's a hands-free harmonica you doofus. Allow me to play it.
Yeah, that's that's what. That's also what I was thinking. I was like, wow, I didn't know the Emperor was getting into harmonica.
If I get a thumbs up, I will get some cheese from the fridge.
Get to it, bud. Permission granted. Two thumbs up. Very nice. Hey, Wilmar. For the next stream, do you want to come over to my house and we'll open up my overspray container? And we'll just dig stuff out live on stream.
I'm leaving. Can Mike take me out to dinner that night?
This thing. The overspray container. Like, it's sloshing, man. There's a lot of water in there. We just opened it up, one of the streams. You couldn't pay me to do this. It's delicious, yeah. It's just water, Wilmar. How many bits for you to drink from? How many bits for me to drink from it? That's a good question. Kara, how many bits should I charge for that?
For what?
Drinking out of the overspray thing.
Oh my god, that's like 1,000, 10,000 bits.
10,000. That's what she said.
You're gonna be out of work for a week after.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's the amount of bits it would take for me to pay all of my monthly expenses for a month.
Yeah, like it's gonna be a lot.
Because I'll probably...
Like, it's like...
Yeah.
I don't think this has been emptied since we started dating, and we started dating 8 years ago.
I mean, I had to have emptied it to move.
No.
So it's definitely... It has not been emptied at least since we moved here, so it's been at least 2 years.
I don't think you emptied it when you moved. I don't believe you did. Do you remember emptying a Noonan?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just twist the top off.
I mean, but do you remember doing
Yes.
that in Noonan?
I wouldn't have put it in a box if it was full of water.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't know, because, like, we've not had these kind of discussions before, so, like, I could totally see you, like, putting a cap in this and just being like, yeah, that's just going in a box.
That would be a recipe for disaster.
I'm glad to know that you dump it out at least every 2 years.
Trench Crusade all glued to bases.
She doesn't know 'cause you've never cleaned it.
I have definitely cleaned it. I know I've cleaned it. The carnivorous weird wood has 0 movement. It's probably got like some kind of tactile action, I assume. Trench Crusade all glued to base now except for DeWheel because I don't have 60mm bases ready to play whenever Mike starts up the league. Isn't that like $30? Don't you live well below the poverty line? I do, but it's a little more than 30. Do you need a 60mm base? If you need a 60mm base, I can bring my thing of bases tomorrow, Mr. J.
You're leaving me again
Didn't realize this was a foot stream. Shouldn't you charge extra for that?
I should. I really should.
You go, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how that camera keeps moving. It can deploy anywhere except deployment, and it has a Aura 6 AoE attack. We play we Plants vs Zombies now, but it literally can't be moved ever. All 5 dogs are out and about. Goodbye, footsies. If you have a 60mm base, I'll take it. I was going to check to see if Webway had any fancy ones tomorrow. Yeah, I'll bring my base thing.
We have a lot of bases.
Yeah, I have a lot of extra
We can
bases.
totally hook you up. There's a sleeping doggo there, but I can't quite get him in the camera. This is the way he's laying. Lay down. Just lay down. Just trying to show you to your fans. That's all. Your fans want to see you. They're looking at the dog cam. They want to give daddy bits for painting and seeing your cute, nasty face. You know. Side hustle, bub.
The dog cam's going crazy. It's like one of those police helicopter chase videos.
I was trying to make it better for you. I'm sorry.
That wasn't me. I didn't say that.
No, I'm telling them I'm sorry.
Pizza. I didn't know they had helicopters in Europe. When did they get those? I thought you guys were still using those like cars where you have to like get out in front of it and spin that little like lever thing around.
This is like 1920s.
Yeah. That's how the Earth rotates, Kara.
You're a dork, Dylan.
It's been at least like 100 years since the 1920s, but
Nobody's
Europe has to catch up.
car like that anymore. Like maybe they might be like doing those dance moves in the dance hall, but they're definitely not driving those cars.
We invented them to steal things from museums. I see. Well, just found I lost more models on this new edition, bringing the total to 25. How many models did you buy in the Toyota-thon, Wilmar, huh? Because Weird doesn't have sales; they just have a Toyota-thon. I can't take credit for that. That was all Wilmar. I thought that was an amazing name for it. I can answer for him too many. Sheesh. Are they in there playing Spacemans again? Is that why Mike isn't here? Are they playing Spacemans again?
Fucking Mike.
Okay, they're not in there playing Spacemans. I warned y'all, don't fall for the deceit of weird sales. Yeah, you don't need to warn me, dude. I do want to buy the Pale Rider, that alternate Pale Rider. That I might buy that. They might have got me on that one. I bought 12 models from the sale that I had to manually confirm today were still in the keyword. Wilmar, do we need to have another vow? That moment when it's still in keyword, but the stat card has more white than words. Alright, guys. Does that skin look good, or is it too purple? I don't know. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Some models have now stat cards that could be summed in you move. That's what you do this turn. It's not necessarily a bad thing. The previous edition of Malifaux, like I said, those combo machines seriously need to F off. I was, like I said, I was so tired of it. As soon as your turn was, I activate this model to drop the resource for a combination that's going to take me 3 other models to pull off so that I can Alpha Strike, instantly kill a model on the other side. I don't want to be involved. I do not want to play against that. I have the firm belief that if we ever played together, you would punch me in those. I would not punch you. I would probably just leave.
Then stop going to tournaments. How many times do I need to say it?
I haven't gone to a Malifaux tournament. I haven't gone since the last time I got upset. You act like I go every weekend.
He plays every week, but not Malifaux.
I gotta clean up that container. You keep talking like you go every... No, I don't. I'm just saying. That's the thing that I don't like. And I'm hoping that the new edition changes.
I can deal with pain, but not with being abandoned by a doctor friend.
What about a regular friend? I would just leave you unread, man. Listen, Pizza. Getting punched in the face, it's easy to get angry, you know, to feel that sustained aggression towards the other person. But when they just walk away, what can a man do against such mindless hate? Was the Malifaux tournament the one that made you go through the bummer time? Yes, that was the one. Yeah, it was a combination of that one and the Infinity tournament in December. He wouldn't even leave. He would just get very angry and quit. That's true. Okay, I specifically talked about how I was curious to see if Arcane Reservoir was going to stay in the game, since everybody has 7 card hands now. Good players with no crutch coat, though. Hey man, whatever. That's like the least of my concerns. I find that the leadline coat really didn't even do that much for me, because the only things I ever went up against could just ignore it anyway. Because Zoraida could just ignore it, because Laugh Off doesn't affect obeys. Or, well, it couldn't. and what was the other thing? Most of the time, you're putting armor on stuff that they're not attacking anyway. Bro was talking about Lidline coat like the water from Space Jam. I mean, Leadline coat was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. Can somebody tell me why they took the Emperor out of Legion, by the way? What the hell was the thinking on that one? Gildan Arcanist had some insane upgrades. Bro was talking about Leadline on the waters from Space Jam. It's all about the confidence. It's all about the confidence. Cause having the Emperor enter a fight is dumb. Are you painting this mini today in honor of the Pope, by the way? Sheesh! He never once actually did that other than fight a few folks 2-1. Hey man, let me just preface it, Wilmar, by saying I think Star Wars is stupid. Then why are people so obsessed with him, Wilmar? Tell me. Why do so many people in Malifaux tournaments use the Emperor? I go to them like every single weekend. Why does everybody have the Emperor? And what are you talking about? I saw people play Star Wars Battlefront where he just walks around shooting lightning while running around at max speed. Are you telling me that I have a higher KD than the Emperor? He's got cool lightning powers. I went crazy in recess. I was a war machine. You're on a roll, Pizza, you know? This man's on a roll. Somebody get this guy a glass of water. He's on fire. Because tournament players can be massive babies. They lose a model or have a rule change on them, and they get all loud. They get all loud. Le win. How did I get here? All right. I guess I guess he's done. I went through all the stages of grief. He needs to stop using that magical harmonica. This is unfair. Oh god. If you told me I'm expected to use Gups this edition somehow, I'd tell you we were in the worst timeline. I'm still mourning the models I have to bury soon. Does this look like the Emperor to you guys? Did I do it? Did I Emperor? Is the Emperor gonna be happy with me? Will he invite me to his birthday parties? He looks to be empiring hard, Dr.D. Thanks, man. It's funny, but I had Collodion Lilith in second edition. I still lost more models for Zoraida in this edition. Yeah, really, the Nephilim keyword really didn't get touched, did it? It's still an absolutely massive keyword. I need to hear it from Wilmar. Otherwise it doesn't count. Oh, I gotta finish his chair. He sure looks like someone who got paid to play the Emperor at a birthday party. Oh. What do you think of this skin?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
What do you think of this skin?
Touch too gray. Let's just a touch more peach. Just a touch more peach. He looks a little too dead there. I know he's very dead, but in model form, I think you leave just a little more peach. See, he's kind of peachy there.
Okay, see what I can do.
You don't want him to look like he's totally dead. You want him to look like he's like in between. I think.
It's fair.
Maybe Tizzy has a different take. Is anybody who's in this stream Catholic? And do they have any thoughts on the Pope passing today?
They were asking me if I was celebrating his death by painting the Emperor.
That's sad. No, he was a really good Pope.
Yeah, you took the subway.
He was like such a humanist. Like I really appreciated him as a human being and a leader of humanity. Like not everybody gets it right, but he did a good job. He was a good Pope.
Nephilims right now can evolve into mature Nephilims. No more cavern Nephilims. Blah blah blah.
No, what? No more cavern Nephilims?
Nephilims. I love those videos from
Good
Latin
one,
America
though.
where a guy plays a character. He got no business. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Okay, nobody said anything on what you said yet.
That was the good one, though. The cavernous Nephilim. I hadn't used it yet.
That's true. I don't think we ever got it.
We had the card.
Yeah, I don't think we ever bought it.
Oh. How did we get a card? Don't forget to eat that cookie before you go to bed. I'm gonna move this big knight and this big-headed model thingy. I forgot what these are called.
Funko Pops.
Yeah, Funko Pop down here to my stuff, and so I can open the window.
Do you just want to throw those away?
No.
Lilu and Lilu are cracked. I love those videos from Latin America where a guy plays a character he got no business playing. My favorites are depressed, smoking Mickey Mouse, so I can get through a hobo dressing as the emperor with a harmonica. They hired this guy outside a store to do a gig, and he's just happy that it's a sitting gig. Good for him, man. Send them the Mind Taker. Yeah, that's. I think a lot of the stuff I have is probably gonna go that way.
I just wanted to open the window. Nothing needs to be thrown away. We're gonna have a bigger house next month. Or the month after. All gonna work out.
Kara's the one that wants to hoard this time.
You have done a very good job of slimming down, but I don't think anything else needs to be getting rid of, and I'm a little nervous about you getting rid of the Song of Ice and Fire. I'm nervous. I didn't say you couldn't do it, I just said I'm nervous. Because it might get really good, and then we might want all those teams back.
I mean, if you want me to hold on to it, I will.
You have so much MCP you could sell.
I mean, it's not from a lack of trying.
I mean, I appreciate it, but maybe you could just invest in some more shelves for our cabinets. Like, maybe getting rid of stuff isn't the answer. Organizing and cataloging it is the answer.
The Necromunda book. Which one? Got a raid. Thank you for the raid floating thingy. He came in just as we were finishing this guy up. I don't know if there's any more effort I want to put into this.
I think the purple on the seat is much better than purple on the ice. Much more purple. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the follow, Nexus Point Games. Thank you. That's true. I would like to one day become a floaty thingy myself. How'd you guys' stream go?
He looks too dead still.
Podcast. Floating thingy. Floating thingy. Don't think I've been to your channel myself, man. Oh, look at that chunk. Look at that chunk on our cam. You bet, looking good on that Emperor. Thank you. I love that name. You bet, looking good on the Heya, of course. Reject humanity, become floaty thingy. I worked on a crew kill team leader. I'm assuming from the relatively new box, right? Came out like this month, last month, something like that. Why is it the Arachne theme song with the image you're not into? Very good. Worked on some Primaris intercessors. Oh my god, man, got some 40K going on over there. No, the older ones. Well, yeah, because I guess there wasn't any other kill team stuff. Yeah, kill team I've lost track of. I'm assuming there's Tau, but is it the first? Because there was a Vespid one, wasn't there? Thank you. Oh, he's into that. He just won't admit. He just won't admit it. Is there actually? Yeah, because I was gonna say. Because there used to be a crew kill team for like the older edition of Kill Team. There wasn't models with it back then, but like that was a million years ago. But yes, I can add him to the thing. Oh god damn it! All right, so the never-ending battle of painting Star Wars stuff. Yet again, coming closer to finality. It's getting closer and closer. Luke's done. Woohoo! Vader is a good chunk of the way done. Emperor's done enough for now. Anyway, y'all have a great stream going for food. You have a very nice night, floating thingy.
Thanks for joining.
So this is for Tisdale from Adepticon, who desperately wants me to just paint everything he owns. Because I am what you would call a sucker.
He gives a lot of bits. He pays.
He does. He literally has given us bits once. You going to do anything fancy for the win? Yeah, I'm probably going to do stars. So, like, in the scene. I probably... Like, if I'm feeling real spunky, I might take a look at the movie and actually try and draw, like, the Star Destroyers in the background. Maybe I'll try and paint some, like, explosions for the battle over Endor. Will there be any wars in those stars? Yeah, I would assume so. Paint my Malifaux crew. I'll gift you Doritos. No, that's not happening.
I will totally contrast your Malifaux crew for Doritos. Pizza, I will contrast it if you frame it and send it with your bone wraith on there.
Do stars count as freehand? I would assume so, yeah. Because I drew them.
Does cooking count as freehand?
Yeah. Will there be any wars in those stars? Here's the deal. You pay my Star Wars and I pay you. I pay you on Star Wars? Pizza, I can't paint models for you. I don't recognize the euro. And by the euro, I mean the British pound as a real dollar. The British pound makes a terrible US dollar. Here's the boo meant to write. No, I know exactly what you were trying to say. All right, that's done. Now we're gonna finish this.
How hot are Dr. D's pecs in that black shirt tonight, you guys?
He said he'd pay in Doritos, which currently are worth more than the dollar.
That's true.
That's
Especially
true.
if it's Cool Ranch Doritos. Doritos are like, I think they're trading right about the same as the dollar, but Cool Ranch are like 150. Totally. And if you can throw in a Baja Blast, you might really have some ups on that deal. Google says 73 tomorrow, so I'm going to bet 79.
Okay. That'll be pleasant.
Because it said like 63 yesterday, and we got like 83.
He said he'd pay in Doritos. The other day, I bought some cards in dollars, and I did a backflip of joy.
Woo! Good for you. Backflip of joy is always positive. It's never a negative.
So you bought something in U.S. dollars? Is that what you're saying? Meaning you got a huge discount?
How is that possible? Are you paying for tariffs?
Look at you. Playing the system.
I love it. Gaming it.
Even with the tariff involved, it was way cheaper. Sweet. Yeah, I was going to say, what is the current value of the U.S. dollar? I imagine it took a hit.
Fuck knows.
So it's a... I thought, didn't it used to almost be like a 2-for-1? All right, that might have been. I guess that might have ended towards Brexit. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Did you live there before Brexit?
And do you care? What's your opinion on Brexit?
I just realized I forgot to put on the cannon doors before I primed the dumb ships. You you might even be able to just leave them off. You may not even need them on there. It's kind of a personal choice. They can kick my Spanish patooey now. Yeah, it happened while I was here. Because I'm kind of curious. Like, yeah, did it make like a noticeable difference? You're just painting in sub-assembly. Can you imagine, like, specifically just holding onto each one of those little doors and painting each one? My God, that would take forever. Not at all, at least locally. Not too many Spanish people living here, that's for sure. Well, I'm just saying, like, did it affect your, like, daily things that you're doing?
Good night.
Good night.
Love you.
Love you too. The meal deals in grocery stores went up 20 pence. 20 pence? It's interesting how the market reacts, you know, because like in a similar situation, right? When Brexit was happening, they thought like England was gonna like collapse in on itself, but kind of similar to what the U.S. is doing with right now. It's like even with all the like stuff going on, there really hasn't been like a noticeable difference, other than like some price of stuff has gone up for sure. At least from an economic standpoint, there are other things that have been going on, 100%, but because like the way stock moves doesn't really affect like your daily life, like it definitely affects like your retirement and all that and yada yada. But I know that here in Massachusetts we're a little bit more like limited by the stupidity just because of the fact that because here in Massachusetts we can just be like, yeah, we don't really care. The Harvard thing is like a good example of that, where they're like, oh yeah, we didn't mean to say that or whatever. But okay, sorry, we're getting into politics, but I'm just kind of curious from like a European standpoint. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Yeah, Simon I think is on his way out the door. Yeah, you lost value in the pound. But like you were just saying, like the value of the pound, it's like, does it affect you on a daily basis? A few board game companies have shuttered because of it. Sure. Yeah, I mean obviously I think those things will hit luxury goods before anything else, 100%. They have about 12 unfinished Kickstarters that they can't do now. Yeah, well, that's what happens when your profit margins are based on just making money off the last Kickstarter to pay for the stuff that you promised in the Kickstarter before it. We make a lot of food here, but there are also a lot we import. We can't grow food year round. Yeah, right. And there's definitely some things we just can't get here. Like I know coffee's a big example. Like like Jay, I know, I get the simplicities of it, but it's not like the UK is any different. I mean, they're even more northern than us. It's not like they can grow a lot of foods there either. I would even venture to say that there's probably a lot less agriculture in UK. And I'm not sure. Maybe Britain doesn't have the same issue that America does, where like the majority of our food is grown by Monsanto and its subsidiaries. Sure. The UK is a farm. Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. But if you take a plane, all you see is farm. Really? Okay, I didn't know that. Hmm. That's news to me. And it should go without saying, I'm not a supporter of the tariff idea. I'm just curious, like, where the impact is gonna be, if and when, or whatever the heck happens with it. It's not really an if or when type situation anymore, but make fields upon fields of stuff. There's sunny vegetables and stuff for sure. You see, you guys are lucky over there in the UK. You guys don't drink coffee. You guys just drink mud, mud water mixed with grass. That some guy in India showed you. Jay, are you gonna be at the shop tomorrow? Yeah. But it's actually amazing I could eat mussels with white wine and garlic forever. Yeah, dude, it's so good. Okay. Well, I was just thinking, I can bring the base tomorrow. Because we're gonna be recording some blood. No, we're not recording Blood Bowl. We're recording Cyberpunk again tomorrow. We could be recording Blood Bowl, but I don't have any Nurgle Rotters. Because I don't have any. Mr. Cord. You found a Nurgle pitch in San Francisco. That's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool looking. It's like literally the Garden of Nurgle. It's like I think that's cool. That's kind of cool. It is insane how rare those things are, though. Also, Jay, I have been told that the Blood and Plunder World event thing starts on May 1st. I thought it was June, but it is apparently May. That would be cool. Yeah, I think those like actual purpose-built Blood Bowl pitches are just the coolest thing. Yeah, they do the one printing of pitches if you can get it. Well, too bad. Yeah, right. Well, everyone is built at least, but paint in 10 days. I don't know how much. Well, I don't think it has to be painted. A lot of the prizes and stuff they give out on the weeks are usually like some kind of hobby goal. So you just work on it, and there might be stuff during the event where they're like, "Hey, yo, paint a unit of whatevers," and you get sick cred. Go buy junk. I mean, technically speaking, my stuff won't be painted either. Good night. Yeah, we're almost done anyway. We close up in about 10 minutes. So, guys, actually, you know what? I'll do the outro now. Good night, Jay. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. It's been a very good stream. Had the Borns on. Good people. Next week, I should be here Sunday. As long as nothing goes like terribly wrong while I'm gone. But we did say we would try and just come back on Saturday instead of staying out there. And then Monday is the Mage stream that everybody's been dying for. And then after that, I think a lot of the stuff we paint on stream is probably going to be dictated by what is going on with the Summer of Plunder and getting everything ready for Nova. Since I did it right this time and I started painting stuff significantly before the event started. I think I got my list. Let's see if we can do it. It does require painting another boat. Or another ship, excuse me. But guys, thank you very much for joining me. As you can tell, I'm exhausted. If you want to help support us, Patreon is the place where you can give us whatever you think we're worth, honestly. And if you put money into the digital nomad tier, that means it goes directly to me, which helps me buy paints and all the little doodads and bitty bobs and all the stuff that I need in order to do stuff on here. And it helps me pay for all the subscriptions for electronic stuff and blah blah blahs and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm excited. It's been a good year. It's been a really good year. And it's only going to get better. Just painting and painting and painting and painting. I can't believe I've painted 71 models. That's crazy. Averaging about, what, 20 models a month? It's pretty good. Oh, I need to go to bed because I am very tired. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. There's enough of you guys where I think it's worth raiding. So let me see who we should raid. Mini ruckus is going. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I'll catch you next week. On my birthday. Actually, it'll be my birthday. I just realized that. So guys, thank you very much. I'll catch you guys later. Don't party too hard. Bye!
Fucking duh.